Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live on Neevesknives, ladies and gentlemen. So, what are we talking about today? So, first off, shout out to the Bang Gang squad. We got a bunch of members. Last time I checked, it was 18 new members. That's amazing. We are basically ready to go. I might, not positive. I might hold it off till next Sunday, but I might start a test run tomorrow, Sunday, early afternoon. So 11, 12 o'clock, something like that. It'd be just a test run. So maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. But every time I say that, it winds up running a long time. So we'll see how that winds up working out. But, excuse me, but it will be alive just for the members, and we will be doing sharpening stuff and seeing how many members can join. And because I want to kind of work to people's schedules. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to do 2 scheduled lives a month that are the same day, same time, or if possibly I might do 2 separate, some for one, people's schedule, some for others. And I'm going to be doing other videos as well, not just those. I'll be doing regular short uploads, like little uploads that could possibly help people, or maybe people have something in particular that they're having difficulties with. I can just record it really quick and upload it, because I know it doesn't benefit anybody if they're having the issue right then and they have to wait a week for me to help them. That doesn't help. So I'll probably be doing those pretty often. So shout out to the Bang Gang members. What's up, John? We got Terry, T-Rex in the house, our T-Rex, part of the crew. Now, if anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, I do have a join membership program that I started. I haven't done the video on it explaining it to everybody, but basically next to the subscription, there's a join button. You hit the join button and you see there's three different prices, or 3 different tiers you can join, depending on which one you want to join. Depends on how many benefits you get. All of them are going to be part of the Bang Gang squad and be able to join the live. So just saying that right off the bat. Now, I possibly on Wednesday will be having somebody from Transparent Knives on, which is, well, dude from Transparent Knives, not somebody, which is absolutely amazing. I had one of his knives on the channel a long time ago. And for anybody who doesn't know what Transparent Knives does, he does reblades for knives. So say if you have I'm just going to name a knife, say the Benchmade 940. You can get a reblade in the steel you want, the grind you want, with the blade shape you want, as long as it'll fit the shape that can go with the handle. Same thing with the bug out. He's right now working on 80 20.5s, and I might possibly have something in the works right now where I'm getting a badass blade heat treated with a badass custom heat treat with a badass steel. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. John Evans, thank you for the 10 bones. Happy Saturday, Jared and the tribe. Happy Saturday to you. What's up, Denny's? So that is going to be absolutely amazing, because one of the biggest things with the 80 20.5 people have a complaint with is the steel, right? But if you can kind of turn your 20.5 into damn near a USA made knife, right? I know some people would argue like, oh, well, for the price, you could just get a 80 20. And it's like, yeah, but are you going to be able to find one? And in this case, you're getting everything. It would, like, if you got the OR goat scales, USA made, and a reblade, so that would be the blade and the scales, USA made. The only thing that wouldn't be USA made would be the actual lock and the liners. So, and you're not just paying for that, you're paying for a custom heat treat, a steel that you want, the grind that you want, the blade shape that you want. Imagine, like, just imagine that you're getting a custom knife. That's crazy and so badass. So let's take a look really quick. I know we only have 31 people in here. We only have 31 people in here. I know a lot of people over there at OMCs. So let's take a quick look at his page really quick so I can show you guys some of his work. Ed Durbin's a new member. Shout out to Ed Durbin becoming a Bang Gang member. Now, this is, if you look, you can see he's got the 80-20.5 right here. It looks like we got a clip point with a hollow grind right there. The blade on the right is just a blank, or it's actually the blade that's on the left. It's just a finished one. 7 thousandths behind the edge at 21 degrees per side. That is, do you guys even understand that? Magnet cut at 64.6 HRC. That's like, I think magnet cut can reach like 65 HRC and still be okay. I think I was explained that by him that at 65 HRC it's basically about as fragile as Vanax, which Vanax isn't necessarily fragile. I'm just saying the toughness would go down to about Vanax. So that's insane, but your edge retention would be maximized. So just imagine the potential at around 65 HRC. It's 7 thousandths behind the edge, 21 degrees per side. We're going to go more into that here in just a moment about the degrees per side, because that is very important when we're talking about thickness behind the edge. We'll check out a couple more that he's got, because he does, man, the stuff he does is absolutely amazing. So here's another one. Oh, man, look at that. We got a Tonto. Whew, look at that grind on the spine. Holy cow. You can tell that thing's super thin behind the edge. I see the donation, Talica. Give me 1 second. I will get to it. We have a bug out. That is beautiful, man. Look at that. We got a hole in the blade, bug out, with a sheep's foot blade with a deep hollow grind. Man, that's just so badass. And I believe when he does, unlike the Benchmades, like me and him were talking, and we'll go more into it on Wednesday, you know, if he's able to come on. But the potential he can do with the 80-20.5s is, because Benchmades, you basically have to make a blade for each handle, because there's so many variations between models. The tolerances are way different from between each model. With the 80-20.5s, they're very similar. So he would be able to do blades without having your scales. So that basically be universal. So he'd be able to sell the blades without having you send anything in. But yeah, the potential is endless with this stuff. I'm absolutely loving it. Look at this bug out. Holy cow. Look at that. That is sweet. You got a hole and a thumb stud. But yeah, when you get down to 7 thousandths behind the edge, yes, of course, you lose your toughness, right? You're not going to have toughness. But if you're cutting, your cutting potential, I mean, that thing's sharp when it's dull. That's how and you know how fast you can sharpen your edge? It's 7 thousandths behind the edge. Like, it just goes so fast. It'd be so easy. So if you do like get I don't know, microchipping, right? It doesn't really matter. You can sharpen it out so fast. Look at this one. Let's watch this one really quick. It's got a little video of it. Those scales are beautiful. Oh, look at that blade. That is a gorgeous blade, man. Oh, I love that blade. Then you can see how thin that is. If you look, you know, you can see the satin, look right in the middle of the satin grind and that hollow. You can really see the shadowing, how it really plays with the light. You can tell that thing is super thin. But yeah, I think this is going to be amazing. Let me get to the super chat. Talica with the 5 bones. Thank you, brother. YouTube censors my original message. I have to send you my screenshot. I said bang before game all night. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, sorry, man. YouTube does it. It has nothing to do with me. I don't have anything censored on my lives, nothing at all. So it's 100% on them. I do have some messages censored on like the regular YouTube videos, but I don't get to decide it's just like inappropriate stuff. And I only do that so that YouTube doesn't flag my channel as an inappropriate channel. Because like if I left it on and left it to the abilities of people to just be able just to say whatever they want, then YouTube, they won't push me up in the algorithm as much. So Knife Steel Forged in Fire, just coming in here to send y'all my love. What's up, Jared? Great community over here. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, we got 50 people in here now. All right, seems like some people are starting to get bored over there at MCs. I'm just fucking with them. I feel like my light is a little bright today, a lot brighter than it was the other day. But we still got the focus going, right? Oh yeah, we got that focus. Love this camera, man. Love it. All right, so let's talk about we're going to talk about N690 here in a minute, but let some people come in here. Let's talk just a little bit about the behind the edge thickness, like I was just talking about. So talking about behind the edge thickness, sorry, I'm scooting over trying to center myself. Behind the edge thickness, it's somewhat, I'm not saying it's completely irrelevant, but without talking about the edge angle that it's sharpened at, it does kind of make it, and also the grind. So like you can have a knife that's 10 thousandths behind the edge, but if you measured, I'm talking about like just a smidge up the blade, it would be 20 thousandths or 25 thousandths or something. So saying, and this is where I'm getting at, saying the knife is 10 thousandths behind the edge, but it's sharpened at 30 degrees per side, doesn't say too much. It doesn't matter that it's 10 thousandths behind the edge, because once you sharpen it to a real angle, right? 17 degrees per side, 15 degrees per side, all of a sudden you're going to get the real thickness behind the edge. The only difference is that it's just not sharpened properly yet. And it's almost like an illusion, right? It's an illusion because it's super thin behind that edge angle, that just means that edge angle is super, super high. Now, if it had an appropriate edge angle on it, like I said, like 17 degrees per side, or even, we can go to 20 degrees per side, because a lot of companies, there's only Spyderco that I can think of. Maybe there's some more, but Spyderco does theirs at 15 degrees per side with a micro bevel at like 22 degrees. But most companies do it around 20 to 22 and 20 to 22.5 degrees per side. And what I'm talking about right now is the edge angle that it's sharpened at. So it's actual edge bevel. What you see shining right there, the edge bevel right here, that is what we're talking about. That angle that's your edge. Depending on that number, so the higher the number, the smaller the edge bevel. The lower the number, like 15 degrees per side, is going to be a larger edge bevel than, say, 25 degrees per side. So measuring behind that, because when we say behind the edge thickness, some people measure it a little different. Some people measure right behind the apex. You don't want to do that. That's not what you want to do. You want to measure the shoulder, the highest point of your edge angle, because the point of behind the edge thickness is basically from the spine thickness, say if it's 120 thousandths, down to the thickness behind the edge bevel. So that's going to give you the blade geometry. That's where that comes from. So now you can find out how slicey is this, how not slicey is it. Is it more for hard use? Is it, hey mom, thank you, I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. But finding out what angle it's sharpened at is definitely very important when we're talking about behind the edge thickness, because you'd be surprised how much that number will change after sharpening. That's why sometimes when I do my reviews, you'll notice I will say the thickness behind the edge, but I'll say that's after sharpening. What's up, baby?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw this one. Hi, hello. Wait, let me not say.
You want me to move?
No, I'll be right here. I'm fine. Okay, I just saw this funny thing. It's
Yeah.
not that funny, but I had to come tell you because you know how like people use Canada when you're stream buffers.
Yep.
Okay, it was just like a little meme, and all it said was, you know, these days we get mad about buffering or freak out about buffering, but don't you remember the days when we used to have to rewind a tape cassette with our pinky when it wouldn't work?
I did have
do
to
you
do
remember
that.
that? And then it just kind of made me laugh, like, wow.
Well, that was
so
the
impatient.
the VHSs you had to do with a butter knife.
But I'm talking about, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. You're
you
talking about the cassette tapes.
And,
The cassette
and that
tapes,
little
yeah.
thing's kind of spiky in there.
Yeah. Same thing with the VHS tapes. You had to do it with a butter knife.
I don't remember a butter knife doing that.
Well, because your finger
was
wasn't
too small.
when you're, especially if you're a kid.
I feel like I still did it with my finger, but maybe that
Probably with your, maybe with your thumb, but like especially if the VHS ate your tape, then when you pulled it out, it was all strung up. So you didn't want to do it with your finger because it'd take you a year. You'd want to do it with something that you could
just
spend.
never really had that problem.
Oh man, I remember that problem.
I know
a lot.
I'm getting ruined, but I don't remember them ever being ruined, but in a fixable state.
But same thing with the computers when they first started. You would have to wait so long. Every time you clicked on anything, you'd go from like just 3 clicks would be a 10-minute wait. You'd click on one thing and you'd see the thing buff. What was the sign? What was the thing before? Do you remember? It was like, I don't remember either, but it was like something. No, on computers, when computers first started, and in order to click from one thing to another, when you click,
that was a buffer wheel stuff.
I know. I'm saying that buffering wheel was so long.
Yeah.
Just to do 3 clicks, you'd be waiting like 15 minutes.
That was the original. Yeah.
The hourglass.
There was.
Yeah, the hourglass. Wasn't it a flipping
Mac,
hourglass?
Unless you had a Mac, which most people didn't, but it was a rainbow wheel.
Yep, the spinning hourglass. Yes, the spinning hourglass.
Like
yes.
But the one on Mac was just a rainbow wheel that just went like this.
But yeah, man, that's probably why I didn't get into computers until a later age, because no patience. No patience for me.
I thought that you were talking about when you got like blue screened.
What's blue screen?
I'll stay for a minute for $2. Sounds good.
Yeah, look with the 2 bones. I miss seeing Kara stay for a minute. All right, let me scooch in. All right, get my paperwork out of the way. We don't need her seeing that stuff. That's only the banking squad. What?
Why are you saying banging?
I said I had to scoot over for you to get in here.
I don't like it.
Is this your water? Did you bring this?
No.
I don't remember having water there.
Go to this chair.
It's all messed up.
Oh, you don't swear anymore?
I do. Pandemic EDC says first computer was Spectrum.
Did you say Pandemic EDC?
Pandemic EDC said first computer was Spectrum X that loaded computer games with tape. Seems logical. Says I loved computers as a kid. Lots of fun memories. I don't have a lot of memory. I guess when I was a teenager, we had a computer, and like that's when you were doing what were those things called where you went in and talked to people? It was called something, I forget.
Chat rooms?
Chat rooms. Yeah, I did some chat rooms.
Those were a thing when I first had a computer.
They weren't. When I was a kid, we had computers in school. When I was a little kid, they first got computers, but it wasn't like, it wasn't really good. Like they were like BS, and you didn't see computers until then. Like that was like my first time ever even really seeing a computer. When I was a kid, was in one of my classes, and they were teaching us the computers. But John Evans, Kara, appreciate the fund. What is
Bring up my question.
Hold on.
Kara appreciation fund.
Fred, thank you for the 2 bones.
No, thank you, Fred, because it's not for Jared. It's for me.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it. Chat rooms, yes.
No, go back up. I have listen, the people need to know things from me, baby.
Okay.
Carry me
Okay.
up a little more.
More?
A little more.
What do you want?
The one right there.
Steel Forged in Fire says, Kara, what do you feel about COD being bought out from Microsoft? COD. Call of Duty?
Yeah. It's really sad. I think it's a good thing if they stop making them release every year. That would be nice because they might actually make a quality game instead of releasing shit once a year. That winds up being a good game when it's literally time for the next new one. I hate that. But if they genuinely go and make it inaccessible to PlayStation players by making it a Xbox exclusive, that would really, really suck. And I do think that that's a possibility because they made a comment saying, like, we're going to honor the contract for now, which is kind of... So that's what I think.
Jack Nemo says, I remember being the remote and changing the channel. Same. Between the 4 available. Same. When me and my sister were kids, we didn't have even basic cable. So we had just... Or maybe that's what it was called, basic cable. Was just the cable that anybody can have. Yeah, you just plugged in. And it was like 4 channels. And we had a dial TV, click, click, click. And then we'd have antennas with aluminum foil on there. And I'd be sitting there playing the dance, trying to find the channel. And as soon as you would, you'd have to stay there. You wouldn't want to move because if you moved, it was all fucked up again.
Hey, Mom.
And you'd know you caught it because you'd hear the sound of the cartoon or whatever it was instead of hearing static. Considered on getting a Sig Sauer Emperor Scorpion button lock non-auto, yay or nay? Well, I only have
Sig Sauer.
Knives. Yeah, well,
I did not know that.
Hogue makes their knives.
Oh, okay.
The K320 is really good, so I don't see why that one wouldn't be good. And the K320 also comes in an auto or the manual, which is an access lock. I haven't tried their button locks, but Hogue does really good button locks, so I don't see why it wouldn't be really good, as good as their button locks are.
Do you remember Oregon Trail?
What do you mean? No.
The computer game?
I don't think so.
You didn't have to play it in school?
I don't think so.
A lot of kids did.
I
guess that was after your time, old man.
I guess so.
You're missing all your donos.
You're the one who told me to scroll back up, so
well, you gotta
I'd shut your mouth.
You're 3 behind right now. Trace.
3?
Yeah.
Ed Durbin with the 10 bones. I need those bones.
Listen. I'm not making you a bone.
Yes, you are, actually. I guess if we have to pay for Kara to stay, I'm in. Oh man, thank you. Really My mom said you're looking good.
I know. I said
looking
hello and
good.
Thank you. Although you were talking, so she probably can't hear because the mic's over there. If I talk,
I can turn it up if it's a big deal.
Well, if we talk at the same time, it's probably gonna only pick up you. But that's
okay.
It's
pretty good.
My little emojis.
Totally agree.
You can see them pretty good. All right.
I know, that's why I said make me some bones. No, they can't do that. It'd be too popular. Watch my son's YouTube game channel. Send us a link. Totally agree. No, they can't do that. It'd be too popular. Watch my son's YouTube game channel.
Yeah, no, but I think that they could. Do you know if they made Call of Duty an exclusive, what that would do for... I would have to buy an Xbox. I would buy an Xbox. Do you see what I'm saying? It would force people into buying another system that they would never otherwise buy.
That's what they'd want.
I'm not against Xbox. I grew up on Xbox. I just only wanted to try PlayStation just because. But Sony's a much smaller company, and they're not going to be able to put up a fight over this if they want to. If Microsoft wants to do it.
I think my problem is I have both the lights on in there. I bet you if I turn it down, we'd look a lot better. It's just so bright.
I mean, we're completely overexposed. I noticed that.
Did anyone actually beat Oregon Trail?
No.
Gamer's Edge by G. Gamer's Edge by G. Gotta remember that. Damn it. Metallica!
I don't mind.
With a 5 bounce. Thank you for the super sticker. What?
Somebody asked if I mind being bribed to stay for lives. I don't mind being bribed. I just I can hear my game in the background right now, and it's kind of
with the 20 bones. Are you from Illinois? I am from Edwardsville. I go to the knife shop in Troy a lot. Yes, we are in Illinois.
Us,
yeah. I can't remember why, but I've been to Troy. I can't remember why though. It was a long time ago.
Does anyone remember, speaking of old computer games, does anyone remember Commander Keen? Me and Q Ball were talking about that the other day. Those, well, he didn't play them, but those games were the shit. Yeah, see, I agree, Jack. It's gonna be exclusive. I know they're gonna do it.
What knife are you talking about? Seems logical. What one was made without an access lock? That actually sounds pretty good. It was right. Damn it.
Did you get every super sticker? Because I thought there was.
I'm trying to get them. I'm trying to find you what you wanted. It was right here. Gamers Edge by G with the Z. Gamers Edge by G. All right, I'm gonna try to catch up. So I'm passing off. Brandon Richards says, I just watched your videos on the Benchmade bug out issues. Only thing is, it was my brother's and I found it a year later in the shed. How did you fix the action issues? Tried oiling the access lock. Yeah, don't oil it. If you oil it, it might get worse. So what you want to do is you want to just work it. It should break in within 3 days. If you're constantly working it, the problem is what it has a titanium nitride coating on the access lock bar, and that needs to come off. It's kind of stupid that they did it. Like the Benchmade Griptilians, they don't have it. A bunch of knives don't have it, so they don't have the issues, but the bug outs did. And basically it creates friction when it's locked up behind the tang of the blade. So some of them don't wind up getting it, but a lot of them do. Like I remember when it happened to us, like so many people messaged us, like same thing's happening to me, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so what you want to do is just work the action, and then keep wiping it off. So like, let me see, do I have an access lock right here? When you disengage the access lock, look at the tang of the blade, it'll be full of black stuff. Just wipe it and then keep working it. Wipe it and keep working it. And as long as you just keep wiping it and wiping it and wiping it and working it, it'll break in. And it'll get really smooth. It just, man, that coating was dumb. They should have never put that on there. Jack Nemo says, looking forward to the Benchmade Immunity. I can't think of which one that is, but the one that I was really excited about, man, my whole world was crushed when I seen that it was D2, CPM D2. So I guess that's a little bit better than regular D2, but it was like $170. That's crazy. Like it pisses me off. It really does, because it's like we're going backwards. Their prices, I know we have inflation right now, but damn it, man, that's crazy. Like, and then their other knife was CPM 154. Personally, I don't like that steel, so that just makes that even shittier. And then the prices are like M4 prices or S30V prices.
Why'd you say that?
What'd you need to do?
I was just reading something.
Well, I don't know what you're reading. How would I know what you're reading?
I was reading that.
Reading this?
Yeah.
Well, then read it. I just popped it up for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
How did that mess you up?
I just caught me off guard. I don't
Okay,
have, I don't have a PC, and it makes me sad. You won't get me.
You need to relax.
You won't get me one. I was actually reading the one above it as well. I was reading them at the same time.
No, Mom, it's too bright. It's too bright. Normally it's not this bright. If you go behind the thing, can you do that really quick? Yeah, and just knock one of the lights off.
You know I'm gonna accidentally make it go pitch black.
That's fine. Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? That's way too much. Okay, well, let the camera work it out.
There's only one on. There was only one to turn off.
Oh, baby, turn one of them on.
That's what was on. Was just one.
Okay, turn it back on. Oh, turn these off and then turn that on. That's what it is. Sorry, guys. This will get better in 2 seconds. There we go. Well, I think you have the bright one on. Seems like maybe it's just
yeah, geez, that is. Maybe it's just that it's right in your face.
No, I did this last week and it was great. Oh, that's so much better.
The middle one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's still a little bit exposed, but it's fine though. Normally I'm putting things up here, so it's normally getting darker like that. Which we're going to talk about Sativian here in a little bit. All right, I got to get to these subjects. What's up, Breeze? Oh my God, Mindy got me driving around. Oh hell.
Yeah, I know. I need a PC really bad. I just
Show
Listen.
one of Jared's.
listen. No,
I'm
don't
not,
flash that
I'm not
up.
even reading that.
What?
Nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. It would be so easy for me to get a computer. I just realized that. I have knives that are worth a shit ton, but I can't sell them though. But you have ones we could sell for sure, like that weren't gifts. You do.
I don't.
You do.
Every knife I have was a gift.
No,
Pretty sure.
not from like a person.
No, they were all gifts. All of them.
Let's see.
I've never bought a knife.
Well, aren't you special? Oh yeah, I forgot you're Mr. I don't buy knives.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a YouTuber.
That was funny. Telica, thank you for the 2 bones. Where's my damn Kara Super Chat sticker dance?
I know. Where is it?
I don't know. You didn't get it over here
was
either.
it the wait a minute. He was holding like a party blower up to his mouth. I'm not gonna do that gesture because somebody's gonna fucking meme it, so I'm not doing that. If that's the one I'm thinking of, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm very sorry. Give me a different sticker.
All right, let's talk about compression locks now.
You gotta have
Grab me.
something we could sell right now. Let's sell something now.
You're freaking out over here.
Let's sell it now on the
You
live.
are freaking out.
Let's raffle it.
You're freaking out.
We could
Stop.
raffle it though.
Stop.
Raffle.
Stop. I'm not raffling anything.
I'll raffle something.
Facts. All right, so I want to talk about compression locks really quick.
Heroic gifts to yourself. Yeah, that's right.
Compression locks, Spyderco's compression locks. I wish I would have brought one over here, but it's actually sitting over by the damn photo box. But you guys know what somebody get Fred out of here.
Yeah. A knife costs more than a PC these days. That's why it would be great to sell one, because it would be one knife equals one PC.
So compression locks. Everybody knows what a compression lock is, the same lock that's on a Spyderco PM2. So the failing point on a Spyderco compression lock. What is the weight that a Spyderco compression lock can hold? Well, we can't speak for every single one of them, but from the tests that were done by Andrew Demko, it's 150 pounds. 150 pounds is what a compression lock from, what they tested, that's what it could hold. Now, some could possibly hold more, some could possibly hold less. Like a Shaman would probably hold a little bit more because it's a little bit thicker and a little bit more robust. But I think it was a PM2 that they did, I believe. I might be mistaking that for the ball lock that they did. But anyways, 150 pounds. Either way, for batoning, supposedly for a knife to baton, it needs to be able to hold 100 pounds. And I know when we think about 100 to 150 pounds, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually quite a bit. It's very rare when you are using your knife that you are going to put that much stress on the spine of your knife. Even if you're, rocking it back and forth and taking it out of something, you're not putting 150 pounds into it. That's like you needing to put most of your body weight to get it out of something. So that is an incredibly strong lock. Now I forget, I'd have to look it back up to see what an access lock is, but an access lock is quite a bit stronger than that. I'm not 100%, so I don't want to say the number. I think I remember what the number is, but I don't want to just shit something out of my mouth.
Ew,
but
that sounds disgusting.
but yeah, batoning is supposed to be 100 pounds. Now, does that mean that it's not going to have damage after? No, most likely, even if it can hold 100 pounds after batoning with it, unless if the lock is designed to, like an access lock, to lock up stronger and stronger and stronger, like a triad lock or an access lock, then it's probably going to have some blade play and lock rock and blade rock and everything afterwards. But it can at least do it.
What is that? How would
somebody
you
donate? Oh, Telica with the super sticker.
How would you do that? What is that even? I still feel like it's gonna make me do something fucked up.
I don't know, it looks like a guitar almost. Just do the guitar. Just do the guitar. Get it over with.
don't trust it.
All right, Malone. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you jumping in.
Thank you, Talica.
We have 82 people in here. All right, now next question. Question to you guys: is front flippers just a fad? Is it something that? See, well, let me just say this. In my opinion, I think the problem with some front flippers is that they're putting it on too much. They're doing too much with it. They're going cray with the front flippers. They're starting to put it on everything. You got to stop. Stop having two conversations. Have the conversation with me. Front flippers. Front flippers.
I think they're putting it on too
Do you
much.
like front flippers?
Not as often as I see them.
So which one would you rather have, a regular flipper or a front flipper?
Probably a regular one. It's, like my interaction with knives comes from using them. I don't just sit there and look at them or whatever. So when I use them, first of all, I know I'm not gonna show the camera. You see my thumb right here where my skin is absolutely just going right there.
Yes,
chunk?
yeah.
That's from carrying the McKenna all the time, which is a very easy front flipper to use.
Yeah, it is.
But all day long, going like that on the side of my thumb
yeah.
on jimping, that part of your thumb is not the same as the padding on your finger for a flipper tab. It's not really meant to get calloused.
Especially over and over.
Over and over. Like, it literally hurts. Like, that's why today you handed me that front flipper and I didn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even want to flip it because I literally have a chunk out of my thumb.
I get that too. Sometimes I even get that from the regular flipper, but definitely worse on the front flipper. Yeah, for sure. Now, do you think that with most front flippers are easy, or do you think only just some of them are easy and the rest of them are kind of like meh?
I mean, they're all easy. There's some that are more awkward than others.
That's my point. That's my point.
They all have a way, but it's not about it being hard or easy. It's about how awkward your hand has to be to achieve getting it open. It's like some of them are like where it requires almost no effort, and then some of them I feel like I have to position my hand like a gremlin just to get it open, and I look like an idiot. So yeah,
I think some of them are extremely easy to use, and those ones deserve a front flipper. Those ones are okay because they're so easy that almost anybody can use them. But the ones that where you got to use wrist and you almost got to struggle and you got to make sure you have the grip just perfect. I think that those knives, either one should have done it better, or two just shouldn't have never even used a front flipper, because it does get ridiculous when we see 100 front flippers and 90 of them are good, right? And 10 of them are good and 90 of them somewhat suck. Like there's a way to do it to where it's good. And then I notice that a lot of the front flippers, they're not even doing the things that I believe almost every single, if not every single one, should do. Like the jimping, the type of jimping it should have, how it's placed, how much it has. What's up, Stasa? Shout out to Bees Blades. Go and check out Bees Blades' channel and Stasa23. You guys should already be subbed to their channels. What's up?
Where's that one knife with the pretty colors that's a front flipper that's kind of hard?
It's got
like it's not a clip point. It's like
I have no idea.
Upward swoopy blade, which normally I don't like, but I do in this case. And it's got kind of a weirdly shaped handle. It's got like red and blue colors like blocked down the middle. It's titanium, but it has like a patch of G10 or something.
It's probably in the case or something. But
that one,
that's a Tucson.
It's a Tucson.
Yeah.
That one is hard as hell for
that's reason. A strong detent. That's why. But you shouldn't really you need the perfect detent with a front flipper, because it needs to be enough that your awkward positioning is enough momentum to open it. Yep.
But also, because if it's too light, it'll just.
I agree.
But if it
has to have the right
and then
amount of tension.
And when you have a frame lock with the strong detent as it is, so now you have to not put your hand on the damn frame lock. The clip is kind of on the frame lock, so that's pushing.
Yes, but that would
hard to
Terry. I do know you can do that. You can do the same thing with a Spartan. There's a lot of knives you can do it, but it's not considered like that's a deployment option, right? Because just because you can doesn't mean you should, I guess. Dominic hates all front flippers.
What's a beluga?
It's right over there. Top drawer. No. Big drawer. The blue handle. Sorry, next drawer.
Up or down?
Down. The blue handle in the middle. Yeah. Now push that back in. They just made a mini version. We don't have a mini yet. That's a petrified fish beluga.
Very easy to open.
Now the mini is going to be probably a lot easier.
I need to stop carrying these front flippers for a while though. Like my thumb really actually hurts.
Yeah, for sure. Just don't carry them. Steel Fortune Fire says, screw all flippers. Fixed blades is the way to go. Too damn bad. I can't carry it in New York. Yeah, that does suck, especially if that's what you want and that's what you love. I have a number 127 branchial sexiest Persian blade ever. Craig says, I don't do well with front flippers. And because of that, because you hear that about most, I'm not going to say most, but you hear that about the front flippers the most out of any other deployment option. The front flipper is the one that most people have the problem with, right? Everybody can use a flipper. Most people can use the whole option because they can use their thumb at the very least, even if they can't reverse flick, right? But the front flipper is where it's like, you know, a lot of people can't use it. A lot of people cannot do it. So does every knife need it? I understand like that it was kind of a thing, but sometimes some companies, it's just don't do it unless if you can do it so good that it's incredibly easy. That's the way I look at it. If it's just as easy as the flipper, then do it. Now, if you have other deployment options already, adding a front flipper, as long as it still works pretty decent, that's not a big deal. But if it's the primary, or if it's the only, you know, like a secondary to, you know, one option, then, or secondary to one other deployment option, then it's like, why even do it? Zach Stuff with the 5 bones. Do something kind for somebody. Yes, absolutely. The Goblin XL, great front flipper. Yes, I have one. I must have put it. Oh, I put it up there. Yes, that is a great front flipper. That one's a I think they're gonna possibly do a medium size one. That would be awesome because that's a big knife, but it's not like too crazy, but it is. Like most people aren't gonna get it because it's so big. Jared says, gotta go. Have a good one. Thank you for coming in, Jared. Don't forget to sub to Zach Stuff. Yes, here is the link. Thank you for that, Fiend. Same thing with Seems Logical. Don't forget to sub to Steel Forged in Fire. All right, I'm catching up with the chat, guys. So if I miss some comments, forgive me. I'm all over the place.
I like that one. That's a gesture I can get down with.
Benjamin, thank you for the 3 bones.
Bone so badly, don't you?
I do. The Schmedium Goblin, you say? Say it in. So yeah, I think there's a Schmedium coming. That's gonna be awesome. By the way, guys, if you guys did want to get in on the XL Goblins, they do have some available now on I think you can even get them from Amazon right now, but some of the knife dealers like Blade HQ, White Mountain Knives, and places like that. Don't forget to use my discount code of White Mountain Knives, 10% off. Neevesknives. Also with the OR GOAT scales for the AD 20.5s. I didn't get the discount code till after I posted my video, but you can get 15% off if you use my discount code NEEVES, NEEVEES. NEEVES. Yes, I did. Top Gun says, Formax. Have you gotten a hold of the PM2 in my card and crewwear? No. I've sharpened them, so I guess, yeah, but I don't own one.
Why not?
I don't have enough knives. Crewwear, blah. I love crewwear. Crewwear is such a good steel. The edge stability is so good on it. You can get such a keen edge. The great thing about, and we're going to go into N690 here in a second, but the beautiful thing with like crewwear is, one, it takes any kind of edge you want to put on it. So if you like toothy edges, crewwear. If you like medium grit edges, crewwear. If you like fine polished edges, crewwear. You can lay back the angles really far on it. and get a really, really, really keen edge, which gives you, and since it has good edge stability, it gives you the ability to have that real fine bite. Like when you touch your edge, it's just like screaming sharp, you know, where it's like, whoo, that shit is sharp. Those type of edges, you can get that from Crewware because of the edge stability. It allows you to lay back that angle really far and get that, you know, that edge really, really keen. Stas says, I had trouble with my OG scales. However, their customer service, the OR scales. However, their customer service is great. They are sending me a replacement, no questions. Yes. So Transparent Knives had an issue too. They said, keep the ones you got. We will send you 2 more. Because of the issue. It's not about issues. It's about what the company does about it. And they seem like they're handling any issues. Remember, they are a new company. They just released these scales and stuff. So things are going to happen, right? But it's not about whether or not, because every company, you're not going to be able to tell me any company that's never had an issue. But it's about what the company does about it, and they deal with it accordingly. So that makes you have confidence that, you know, if you buy product from them, that they're going to handle if there's any issues, which is a good thing. So, I got my Bang Gang badge and my Ding-a-ling sticker.
See,
Blades and Fades. Shout out to Blades and Fades. Go and follow his channel. He recently hit the 1,000 mark, so he can get monetized. Go and follow his channel. He's got some awesome things going on over there. Part of the Bang Gang squad. What?
Is this the wrong live?
What'd you do?
Or am I just not at the right spot?
You're at a different live.
Where is it?
It's right there.
But that's what I just clicked on.
You're not caught up, baby. I don't know
Sound
what
fine?
you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. You have something going on. There it is. Click on it. It's right there.
But yeah, you set yourself up for that. You're gonna get those comments for the rest.
We've already
of your
spoke
life
about
now.
it. We've already spoke about it.
And what was this conversation about?
That we're gonna try not to say that. Be right back. Gotta clean my dishes, so can't write back, but we'll be listening. All right. Not a problem. He's talking. It seems logical. Yeah, Ian, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure. Now, let's talk about N690 really quick. Some companies are using N690, like Kaiser. Steelforge and Fire says, Jared, what do you feel about the Sport Buck 110? Will that be the 110 you and I will finally acquire? I don't know. I haven't seen it. Have I seen it? I can't even think of it. I don't know what it is. I guess I'd have to look it up. Maybe we'll look it up here in a minute. I can't think of it. I don't know if I've seen it.
Your mom's saying good night.
Good night, Mom. Love you.
Love you.
So N690. I get asked about N690 a lot because companies are using it, and it's weird how you'll see some budget companies using it and you can get it for 40, 50, 60 bucks. And then other companies are using it, like Italian companies, and they're charging you an arm and a leg, you know, $300-$400. And it's like, what is going on? Am I getting a premium steel or am I getting a budget steel? It is absolutely a budget to mid-grade steel. It is not. I'm the first person to say that, you know, don't look at steel and try to base steel off of a price, but there still is a limit.
Dude, it really looks like your mom could be my mom in that picture. Somebody made that comment before because I called her mom, and they were like, wait, is it Kara's mom? That's good because they say they'll look like their moms when you get older, blah, blah, blah. But I just looked at her picture, like when it's small, like that. Doesn't it seem like that? Yeah. It looks like that.
It's a dark hair.
I'm not trying to weird you out. I guess that would be weird for
you.
you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Charles Wood with the 5 bones. Does the Herman Dragonfly compare well to the Hinder? I don't know. I don't think they compare at all. I've only handled 1 or 2 Herman knives, but no, they were nothing alike. Nothing at all. Hinders are more beefy and more hard use. Hermans are just they're more, I don't want to call them lighter duty, but more EDC knives.
Can I say something really quick?
What?
Quick comment. Guys, for those of you that are members of the Bang Gang, my brain cannot say that.
Bang Gang Squad.
It's hard for me to say because I want to say it the other way. Anyway,
I bet you do.
Well,
What's up, Bama?
Don't make me seem weird. But anyway, the little emojis, some of them were done in a rush because I was being pressured a little bit to get them up in time.
Should I did it a week before.
But I'm gonna be changing some of them, especially like the ding one. Like now that I see it in the chat, it needs to be a lighter color, and stuff like that. And I guess adding a bone. You guys want a bone?
Yes, they want a bone.
Jared
No, we're gonna have a bone, and then we want bang, gang, squad separated from each other eventually.
That would be all your emojis then.
But they're gonna give us more eventually.
Okay, but I'm saying right now though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, so N690. If I was gonna compare it to any other steel, personally, I would compare it to like a good quality 440C. Good quality 440C is basically like 9CR. So, whoa, Ducky with the 50 bones.
Ducky.
See, I wish we had some bones right now. I've never spoken or commented on your channel, but boy, I want those dings. Thank you, Ducky. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Holy shit.
You said dings, not bones. Oh, there already is a bone emoji. Why am I going to make an emoji for one that already exists?
Well,
it's supposed to be custom.
I didn't know. I didn't know. That's the first time I've seen it. But I don't think everybody has it, though.
Guys, if you have
Custom EDC, thank you for the 5 bones. Hi, Jared and Kara. How's it going? Have you got to check out the new Ferrum Forged Titanium Frame Lock Stinger? No. No, I didn't even know there was a new one. To be honest, I didn't know. I know about the old one, like where the Stinger came from. But no, I didn't even know about it. I must be off my game or something.
Gosh, they all have the bone emoji.
Okay, all right. If we got bone emojis, then maybe we don't need to make one.
Yeah. Yeah. See, because if they wanted it so bad, and they would have been using it, you know? They obviously just don't want to use the bone
They're
emoji.
using it right now.
Well, yeah, because you begged at this point.
I didn't even know we had a bun. So,
look at it. It's beautiful.
Look at Metallica. All right, so N690. The reason why I think it's similar to like 9CR, 440C, and things like that is it doesn't have the best edge stability. I would say that when you do, it can take a good polished edge. So I'm not saying it can't, because it definitely can, especially with a good heat treat. But it gets slick pretty quick after you start using it. So yes, it takes a great edge, toothy or fine. It can take a great fine edge, but it doesn't take long for it to lose its fine edge very, very fast. And the same thing can happen with 9CR and 440C. And that's the reason why I'm like kind of comparing them. They sharpen basically the same. The edge retention is pretty similar to one another. So that's where I would put that. And when we're talking about Italian companies using it and charging an insane amount of money, maybe they're heat treating it a little bit better. But even with the best heat treat, I don't think you're going to get the best, you know, the money out of it that you would spend from some of the Italian companies. Why don't you just say it out loud?
No, you told me not to. I'm trying to be
I did
nice.
Not. No, I didn't. Go ahead.
You did. You said I can't talk to them.
Well, typing it is just as rude.
No, it's not. You're just jabbering
It's
away.
just as fucking rude.
I'm not bothering anybody.
Except
just
for
say
Bama,
it. Because
just
he's
just
salty
say it. Just
that
say
I
it.
didn't say hello, Bama.
I know you didn't even say hey.
And it's Bama
You
Lama.
didn't even say hey.
I
even
didn't.
say hey.
I didn't. I didn't. You're right. I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Wrong.
You didn't.
I'm wrong.
You didn't.
Bama Lama banana.
So the Tale of Knives. Tale of Knives. This is breaking in really good. I did notice that my belt is 2 inches. So these notches or these holes are exactly 2 inches. So it was difficult getting them through. Now it's worked, you know, it's kind of stretched its way out. So it's a lot easier now. But at first, I was wondering if it would even fit. But it's breaking in really nice. You see it's forming really good. It's starting to get its shape around my hip.
I like the K.
I know you do. I do. She's talking about the K, but really good quality. I am absolutely loving this thing. It's even more comfortable in use because of the way it forms. Now, my other one,
it's Tale of Knives, right?
Tale of Knives, yes, Tale of Knives. The other one, the more budget friendly one, that it's like $20, $30 on Amazon. the problem with those is that they're very flimsy. So what happens is they wind up bunching up on your belt, where it'll literally go like this on your belt and
It does what?
bunches up.
I don't understand in what way.
Okay,
Though.
so like this goes like, I can't even do it to this one, but it folds up.
Oh, okay.
So like if you grab the other one right there. On my belt throughout the day, sometimes like it'll start going like this on my belt, and then it'll be like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
not
like it like
yeah, it starts going like that, and I'll have to stretch it out. And then throughout the day, it'll go like that, and I'll stretch it out. So this one is so firm, you can't even do it to it. Like it's solid. So it doesn't happen. So what happens is this is going to form to me and be perfect for me, which is so much better. Now, will this get you by? Yeah, it'll get you by if you want one and you don't have the money to spend. I understand these are expensive, but just know that.
Did you pick the stitch color?
Yes, I did. Absolutely. I'm so happy I picked this color too. Picking the blue. I picked the blue because I wear a lot of blue jeans and wear lots of brown. So I figured it'd go good. And I like brown with blue. It looks really good together. So I'm so happy I picked the blue. Now you can pick whatever color you want. They have, do you remember Talica? What was it? 4 different colors of stitching? I think it's 4 or 5 different colors of stitching. Then you have different shades of the leather. Veg tan leather versus chrome tan. That's the difference in the leather. Bang, didn't know that. David says, yeah, need the solid hide. Good old US steer hide. Yes, definitely. That looks great together. I agree, man. I love it. I think I was so happy because when ordering it, that was my worry. Like, man, I wonder if this is going to look good, if it's going to be something that nothing matches to. But damn it, I'm so happy I picked the blue. Like, that's like my favorite part. Casual Cutter, thank you for the 10 bones. First ding. How do you feel about LMAX? I love LMAX. LMAX, I personally like it a little bit better than M390. Now, M390, we see a lot more, right? We do see a lot more, but I think with the M390, there's so many variations. So when you see like M390, it's difficult to say that because you know everything is carrying M390 these days, and M390 is so different across the board. You'll get one M390 and you'll have good edge stability. It'll take a great fine edge, and then you'll have other M390 and it's super soft and it doesn't take a fine edge. You have to put a toothy edge on it. The edge rolls, and the edge retention is like as good as like, I don't know, S30V, if not lower, sometimes a lot lower, sometimes like 154 CM, and even as shitty sometimes is like OS 8. Seriously. So it depends. But with LMAX seems like it's pretty good across the board. Now, I'm not saying companies can't do it bad. Of course they can. Any steel that can be done well can be done bad. But we don't see it as much. So I guess I kind of like it a little bit better. Yeah, M390 is definitely overrated. Now, the thing is on paper, it's incredible. That's the reason why it's overrated, is because on paper, it is fucking incredible. And if the companies had the ability to do it as well as it could be done, then it would be probably the best steel. Like literally the best steel. But the problem is that companies, it's not possible. It's not possible for companies to give it to you at the price they're giving it to you at and get it done to the highest potential it could be done. And I'm not even talking about custom one piece. I'm talking about like just a good quality heat treat across the board. With production, they're doing so many at a time, it's impossible. M390 has a temperature like if they go too high or low by like I think 50 degrees during the heat treating process, that's the difference between good and bad. So that's how easy it is to mess up. Now, when you're doing a whole bunch of them at the same time, it's not possible to make sure all those blades are within 50 degrees of perfect. It's not possible. That's why you'll have some, even from Riat, who in my opinion has great M390, but they have the difference between good and great. They're not all great. That's how it goes. So you're going to have some good M390, which is, it's good. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. And then they have some great stuff. but they don't have like the best M39. Now other companies are gonna from crap. Okay, right. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully my camera's not
like
overheating.
On my live view, it froze.
Anyways,
Did it come back?
Jason, what's up, bud? But yeah, it's just not possible for companies to do it to its highest potential to with an optimal heat treat on every single one and give it to you for the price that they do. And and sometimes that's what you're paying for when you're paying the higher prices to some companies. But some companies, they're just overcharging you.
I have a question for you, really quick.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, baby?
Are you able to edit the join button thingy on the pad, or it has to be done on the computer?
What do you mean?
Like if you wanted to make a change.
Oh no, I have to do it on the computer.
Oh.
You have to.
I was gonna fix it right now for them folks.
What?
Never mind. I was gonna change the ding to a more visible one, and then I'm gonna give you guys your God, I always say bang gang thing, but I have an idea of how to get it into one emoji.
Oh, you didn't have that idea the other day.
I just thought of it.
Shit. MagnaCut is a good steel if you can sharpen properly. So MagnaCut is a good steel, but just like any steel, it has to be done to the right HRC and it has to be done right. Now, we haven't seen it enough to see how good production companies are going to be able to do it with high count batches, right? With a large amount of blades. How are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to be able to do it to its potential? Probably not, but at the very least, let's hope that we can get it to a reasonable HRC, a reasonable heat treat in large production batches where it's at least good, right? Now, like earlier, I was talking about transparent knives. I'm hooking up with transparent knives. He's making reblades, right, for knives, for all kinds of knives, and specifically the Demco 80/20.5. Now, that he's going to be able to do it singly, but each blade he does a personal heat treat to. So each one is done individually. So he can heat treat it to the exact number he wants to. He can do the difference between 64 HRC and 64.5 HRC. So when we were talking about it, he was asking me, what HRC do you want it at? Do you want it at 64? Or do you want it at 65? And I wound up settling at 64.5 HRC. And he can do whatever blade shape you want as long as it'll fit in the handle. So you can get a sheep's foot, you can get a spear point, with a hollow grind, with a flat grind. You can get a 10 thousandths behind the edge. You can get a 7 thousandths behind the edge. You can get a 15 thousandths behind the edge. So that's I'm gonna hopefully try to get him on Wednesday, but he's going to hopefully be able to sell blades, and they're gonna be able to fit universally, so that he'll be able to, he won't have to have your knife to make the blade. He's working on them now, and he'll be able to make each blade, or make his blades, and then you tell him the grind you want, the shape you want, the heat treat you want, what steel you want, and then he can make it and send it to you without having you send in the scales. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Now, imagine being able to have the exact blade shape you want, the exact geometry you want, the exact heat treat you want. That's incredible. Now, steels like MagnaCut done by him, yeah, you're going to see the highest potential. And I'm going to test one here really soon to the highest potential. Now, what's the difference between that and some of these production heat treats? Well, probably a huge difference. The difference is probably going to be, 3 HRC numbers, which is a lot. Each number, when it goes up, I forget the percentage of how much it changes, but it's a large amount. So like the difference between 61 HRC and 62 HRC is a lot. The difference between like 56 and 57 isn't that much, but the higher you go, the bigger the difference. So when you get to 59 to 60 HRC, it's a bigger difference than 56 to 57. So when you start getting up to 61, 62, 63, 64, like I said, MagnaCut at 65 HRC has the toughness of Vanac. 6. So it still has great potential. So you're, man, I'm so damn bright. It still has great potential, and you're still going to have really good, you're going to have insane edge retention, but you're going to lose some toughness. So what's the edge retention going to be like? We'll see. What's the edge stability going to be like? We'll see, because I'm about to test it. Gamer's Edge. This is his son right here. My dad, Joe from Steel Forged and Fire Sword and Knife, sent me to answer a question. Kara, Call of Duty will not be an Xbox exclusive, so you're good.
Yeah, Fred said that earlier. That's good to know. But how did they say?
Thank you for the donation, gamers.
New, because last I heard, they just said that they would honor the contract. But when that contract ends, I don't know what that means. But unless they said something else. And you don't have to donate to answer that question, just FYI. But thank you very much.
Thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. Thank you.
Stats23 says, I can't wait to test our samples from transparent knives. They should be hella awesome. Absolutely.
I was looking up wrong. No wonder I couldn't
No,
find
I'm very, very excited about that. Like super, super excited. And I'm hoping to get him on Wednesday.
Stupid.
What's up, Q-Ball? Q-Ball's in the house.
You
Evening, folks. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Same back. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to do our first and like I said, I might wait till next weekend, but I might just do a test run on the Bang Gang Live. But yeah, being able to, for companies, so when some of these production companies get, large batches of MagnaCut and they're heat treating it, it's obviously not going to be as good as a custom heat treat, but the potential, or the hopeful potential, is that they'll be able to do it consistently, right? So like say if it's pretty good at 62 HRC, right? Decent, right? Like good, really good. Well, hopefully they'll be able to do that across the board, and that there's not a massive variation in heat treat. I personally don't know. I don't know what it's like for them to do a massive batch altogether, and how much the variations are going to be, between doing that many at once, and how different is it, right? Like kind of like we were talking about with M390, the difference between 50 degrees on M390 is massive. It's the difference between shit and good. So that's why we see M390 from the exact same company, the exact same knife, where it's like this one's not that good and then this one's really good. Sasa says, maybe we can do a collab together on both of them. Maybe swap after we finish testing and sharpening, or if you have any cool ideas that we can do. Absolutely. I'm down for it all, man. I'm always down. I definitely, what I'm going to do with mine is most likely, obviously, resharpen it, get a good edge on it. I want to test its fine edge, because I've already tested the fine edge on two other, I'm testing one right now. But two that I've really, really tested. The other one I'm not testing to that extent, but I've already tested two. So I will definitely be able to tell the difference between, doing the fine edge and seeing how that fine edge really holds through testing. And I'll cut the same stuff. The geometry though is going to be so good on it that's a variable, right? So I have to put that into consideration, that the geometry is going to be so awesome on a knife from Transparent Knives, which increases edge retention. So all the variables for this blade is going to be out of this roof, right? It's going to be crazy, but that also incentivizes other people to possibly get their own, right? Because if you want the highest level of potential for your 80-20.5, you're going to want to get that, because it takes something like this to a whole nother level. Having the exact blade shape you want, the grind you want, the steel you want, the heat treat you want, USA made. And like I was saying, your steel is going to be individually heat treated to the potential that you want it. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing. What's up, baby?
You stole the armrest from
Oh, I'm
me.
sorry. You can take it back. Fun fact. Where'd he go? Blaze says, fun fact. Hippos can't swim, but they are really good at running underwater. Gamers Edge says
I just read it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I see. Okay. I understand now.
Thank you, but I appreciate you coming in here and
that's what they do.
And spending some bones and explaining that to us. Knives Fast says I would take that for sure, Jared. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay, go ahead.
No, what'd you say, baby? I'm sorry.
Nothing. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of people would see, like I was saying before, that one of the issues with the knives before that he was doing with the bug outs, the 940s, is that in order for him to get the blade that you wanted perfect, you had to send him your scales, because there's so many differences, between each scale and the tolerances and imperfections and everything else. So now with the 20.5s, they're actually really good with their tolerances and not being different across the board. So he's hoping that he'll be able to do blades without having your scales. That's awesome. So all he'll have to do is send you the blade and you install it yourself. How hard is it to get a PM2 burlap micarta in crew wear?
Why does everyone keep talking about that? Is there something special about it?
I don't know. I would say buy the does it come in burlap micarta? I thought
that's the second person that's mentioned it, so I'm honest.
I have no idea. I got mine in K320 and love it though. The crewwear one would be awesome. I love crewwear. Hey Jared, sorry for going off topic. Just happened on quick question. What EDC folder would you recommend for my $200 budget limit, and where would you order it? I'd ask you some questions. I'd say, what size knife do you want? What kind of deployment do you want? What kind of materials do you like? I think you're wanting premium materials for that price. I would say you can get a Weeb subjugator, but that's a little over $200. The Weeb Beacon,
really hard to say.
The Weeb Beacon is $200 even. That's titanium and 20 CV. Great knife. The Tucson TS223 is, I think, an incredible knife. I love this knife. The geometry's there. I just did a video talking about why it's amazing. So watch the beginning of that video and you will see why this knife's amazing. But yeah, I would just ask a few questions first, because I don't know what size knife you like, what type of action you like. Public service announcement, only 6 days left to help me fund my Monarch 51. If you're interested, thanks for all who have already done it. Yes, guys, he's going to run out of time, and if it doesn't wind up getting all the funding, then it's not going to happen. So then you guys will basically crush his dreams. So hopefully, if you guys are wanting one, go and help fund it so that it can actually happen.
What is the funding for?
It's for the Mach 51. What is that? What is it?
You don't know what it stands for.
Bang Gang? That's how you're going to do it?
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
It's our logo, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Can this be the thing? Can everyone agree on? Because I mean, I can do it in 3, but that's going to be all you get then. That's all you get.
Yeah, Gus, I know what you mean. Man, I just absolutely love the subjugator in my review and testing. I was very impressed. Where'd it go? Damn it. I was very impressed. The Beacon was not as tough in my opinion. Yeah, I'm actually about to do a versus, but yeah, that's one of the big things. And here is the Kickstarter for the Mach 51. You guys should definitely go check it out. At the very least, just go check it out. See if you're interested. Kara, do you have an OnlyFans?
A fans only channel? No, I do not. Nor would I ever.
So I want you guys to check out this grind. So the next subject is going to be, some knives just don't need to have dual grinds.
Beeves and knives.
Beeves and knives.
That was really funny. Sorry.
All right. So we have, if you guys look at this knife is like 120 thousandths at the tip. It is crazy thick at the tip. So the grind goes from, I think, 30, 40 thousandths or something right here, up to that, and you can really see it. But look at how flat I got that edge bevel. Look at this shit. This took me 3 hours to sharpen.
Yeah, they want all three so that they can reverse the G and the B. That's why they want them separate, Jared.
That's funny.
See, now we prevent that, so you should like this more.
Yeah, maybe.
Jared should get an OnlyFans where he does sharpening.
Oh, I got an
live.
OnlyFans. I got an OnlyFans.
Where you do sharpening live.
Well, if you want to do that, all you gotta do is sign up to the
too
Bang Gang
fat.
Squad. The Bang Gang Squad. That's
Oh
what
my
they get.
God.
They get live
That's
sharpenings,
the name of
and
your
we can.
OnlyFans?
No, that's not the name of my OnlyFans.
Sounds like it.
That's the Gangbang Squad. No, this knife though, if you look at what I was just showing you, this knife took me 3 hours to sharpen. Imagine that, 3 hours to sharpen a knife. It does not make sense. This is a knife right now, and I'm not saying it's not badass and awesome. It's custom. I understand. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying for a regular EDC knife, this would not make sense because it's the grind is for a hard use, beyond hard use, the grind on this. So what are you doing with this knife to do beyond hard use stuff? The lock can't take it. The ergos are not good enough for beyond hard use stuff. This would require a machete size knife and ergos to use this type of grind. Now, between here and here, it's super thick, but it's reasonably thick. But the tip, I mean, like I said, it's beyond what any EDC knife needs. Can you use it still for like light duty stuff? Yes, but everything in between, something like this is either very light duty or very, very hard use. Nothing in between. And what do I mean? So this can cut tape in plastic, right? And then it can pry doors off of hinges, but it really can't even do that because the lock and the scales and everything doesn't really let it do that. So really, it's only good for very light duty stuff. And everything else, it's not, like cutting cardboard, cutting straps, doing the basic EDC stuff. You're going to want to use any other knife besides that because the geometry is just way too thick. It is unable to get incredibly sharp, even with the low angle I put on the tip right here, which isn't even that low of an angle. It's just so thick. It makes such a big bevel, but it's sharp, right? It'll go through receipt paper and everything, but compared to something with good geometry, it's not that sharp. It's just impossible. It's way too thick. It's like, think about an axe. You swing an axe. How sharp can you get an axe? You can get an axe very sharp, but not like you can get a Spyderco PM2 sharp, right? It's just not possible. An axe is way too thick. Same thing with that. So that's why it just, geometry cuts. Geometry makes sense. And the time it takes to sharpen something like that takes so much time. It's so brutal on your stones that when you take something that's 15 thousandths behind the edge and it takes you 20 minutes to sharpen, depending on what type of edge you want and the angle and everything, let's say between 15 minutes and 35 minutes to sharpen. Or 3 hours. And that's with me busting ass to sharpen it. Does Jared dance when he hears the song lyrics? She bangs, you'd be surprised. Classic mismatch between purpose and design. Right. It doesn't make sense. We need to start arguing for knives that make sense. Now, I don't mind seeing some crazy cool stuff. And this is a custom, so it's okay, right? This is fine. It's a custom. It's not something that most people it's not done by like a production company where everybody's fighting to order one. So this one makes sense, but we don't want to see this on production knives. We don't want to see stuff like that regularly. We want it to be kind of unique and where it's something crazy, something fun, something to just show people, right? But we want knives to make perfect sense. the ergos should match the geometry, and the blade shape should match the handle for what it's for. The thickness and the grind, the spine, and and thinness behind the edge should all be for what the handle and the blade shape is designed for. Without those things, it doesn't make sense. And now all you're doing is making a knife that's just fun. Now, I don't mind knives that are just fun. That's fine, whatever. But when you spend a certain amount of money, you'd rather get a tool that's usable. How about Emerson's for hard use with everyday practicality? Yeah, I mean, I think that's great because one, that is a very tough knife, right? So that does make sense. Now, is it too thick for most things? Yes, but it's a specific oriented knife. It is a hard use knife, and there are some Emersons that have chisel grinds, and chisel grinds makes it possible for you to have a thick geometry and cutting performance all in one. So there's still cases where it's okay, like it might be more specific, but there's a line, right? There's a line. So hard use shouldn't go past a certain thickness in geometry. Once you go past that, it doesn't make sense now. But Emerson's do make more sense. They have really strong liner locks or frame locks. It is more of a hard use tool type knife. Now, yes, I would love to see Emerson do more EDC friendly, but his genre, or whatever you want to call it, I can't even think of the word, but his little corner is hard use. So
Niche.
I respect it.
Niche. His niche.
Tough Knives,
You're
yes. Niche. I heard you. Tough Knives does stupid thick grinds at the top that are useless, right? And that's why when I was just saying some dual grinds don't make sense, because like something like this where down here it's like, okay, right, the spine is way too thick for this handle, it doesn't make sense, but up here is beyond not making sense. It's useless. The only thing it works for is cutting tape. And a knife like this should be better than that. So did it need this type of grind? Now, this isn't necessarily a dual grind. It's kind of a spike right here. So this is a spike basically. And then the grind right here would be for slicing. But what are you doing with a spike like this? Right? It doesn't make sense. But some dual grinds do that, where they change the grind at the tip, where so the grind is for hard use at the tip and slicing, in the flat portion. But sometimes it's like, why did they even do a dual grind? What is that knife doing that it needs that thick geometry up at the tip? Are you prying and scraping and hammering with it? Probably not, right? So, and then if you are, let's say the answer is yes. Does it need to be as thick as they make it? Probably not. It never needs to be thicker. Like I always say, it never needs to be thicker than my pry bar. That doesn't make sense. All right. It should be reasonable to where, yes, you can do harder stuff with it, but not take away from it being able to cut. Was it Adam Purvis who started the dual grind trend? I don't know. I don't know who actually started the dual grind trend. And I do think that some of them are acceptable. And it depends, because there's differences in dual grinds. So there's the difference between like the hollow and the flat. And that's kind of what I'm talking about right now. And then there's the difference in angles, like say, like the Microtech SOCOM, right? That's a different in angles. So it's not necessarily a different grind thickness. It's just difference in angles. So with that makes more sense than say the hollow and the flat. Now, I'm not saying that that's not okay, because I have a bunch of knives with that. I just actually got into a pre-order of one, and I love it, but it makes sense, right? When it makes sense, it's okay. When the geometry is thick at the tip, but not unreasonably thick, you can still cut with it. You can actually do hard use with it. hope to be back work on Monday. Yeah, I hope so too, man. I seen your message. There's a difference between a hard use cutter and a hard use knife. Right. And I always say that. So one thing I always say is that there's a difference between the hard use knife and hard use cutter. The hard use cutter should have good cutting geometry, because the point of a hard use cutter means it should be able to peel through materials great, right? And the thing you need to have, it should be a must on a hard use cutter. If somebody ever says, oh, this is a hard use knife, what kind of hard use? A hard use cutter? Well, then it should have the most comfortable ergos ever, because the point of a hard use cutter means that you can cut all day long with it, and it can peel through materials really good. So the geometry should be amazing on a hard use cutter, meaning like it can go through really thick, dense stuff really good, and you have the ergos, because it's so comfortable in the hand, to put pressure through the cuts. Now, a hard use knife is something you're going to be more abusive with. Possibly pull some staples here and there, possibly some light duty prying, possibly some light duty tapping on the spine, things like that, where it does need a little bit thicker geometry, but that's completely different than a hard use cutter. So like something like this, I would consider this is a hard use cutter. This is something that you're not going to want to do prying, scraping, and shit like that with, but you could cut all day with this comfortably. It has beautiful geometry, good, strong, thick spine, but the geometry behind the edge is nice and thin. The 223. I see we have a donation. Shot Town with the 10 bucks.
Oh God, I was just
heart throbbing.
Heart thump. Remember when you see this thing?
Yes, I do.
Shirt?
Yes, I do. Aaron Frederick has a custom model folder that is designed to breach doors. Damn. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I would say this grind is for on this. It just doesn't have the handle that makes sense with it. And that's what I'm saying. There's no problem with knives like that, but make it make sense. If you're going to have a knife, like, and let's say for breaching doors, well, then the handle should match that, right? The lock strength has to match that. All things considered have to match that. Lock strength, stop pin, ergos, and blade shape, right? It's kind of like this. Let's say you put that geometry on a Persian blade, right? A Persian blade with huge thick jimping on the spine and on a liner lock. That doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. That blade shape cannot be used for hard use, for one. The lock is not going to be strong enough to support that type of geometry, two, and it's and if it's got jimping that's so thick on the spine, you can't even put pressure on it because it's uncomfortable. Like some Medfords, right? Some Medfords have some of that ridiculous jimping that's like, don't give me that fucking excuse that it's for gloves. That's the dumbest shit ever. That jimping doesn't belong on a knife. It doesn't make sense. I hope it's 3 feet long. Exactly. Gonna need some leverage, right? How are you prying these things with this, right? Yes, you're gonna need like 3 feet, probably an area to put a pipe on, like you would use a wrench, like how you use a wrench, how you put a pipe over a wrench to get more torque. But yeah, it's crazy some of the things we see in the community that people that makes sense to people, but it doesn't make sense. If I need to breach a door, then it's an urgent situation. Folders can fail. Need to breach, go fixed. Facts. For sure. Now, there are some of those knives that do turn into fixed blades. Well, kind of. They have the pins and things like that. And you could argue a triad lock is incredibly strong for things like that. But they're incredibly strong up and down. So incredibly strong this way, not side to side, When you're breaching a door, how are you doing it? You're doing it side to side. So you can argue a triad lock's the strongest locking system known to man, but is the pivot that's strong, meaning side to side. That's where the size of the pivot, the bushing, the washers, the stop pin, because in that case you would want a like an external or an internal stop pin that like kind of like this. Come on. Where it has this type of stop pin. You would want that type of stop pin. You see how it has a pin on both sides of the blade, kind of like a Hinder and stuff like that, or a SOCOM Elite. Breaching a door sounds like a job for a breaching choke, right? Yeah, that's why it's like, it's hard to see somebody saying, "I need to breach a door," and they grab for their knife. I know I breached a lot of doors in my day. I never did it with a knife. I did it with Lucy. Oh, what time is it? Okay, we're at story time.
I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to step out of here.
Okay, baby.
Because I really want to go finish my game.
Okay.
I can still hear
Yeah,
in the
go ahead.
background.
Go ahead.
I got killed to come on here.
I know you did.
I did. I died.
I know you did. I know you did.
I died because there's so many glitches in the fucking game I'm playing that the pause menu is a lie, apparently.
Oh, shit, baby.
But, yes, this is what we're going with. If anyone absolutely hates it that much, then
we'll debate it.
No.
Yeah, that's not breaching a door. That's picking a lock.
Wait, can I please say thank you to the people that
Yes.
donated?
Yes.
Thank you for the people that paid for me to sit here. I'm sorry I didn't talk that much. I just didn't have a lot to say about all this stuff.
Next time we'll just do a live where me and her just goof off. No knife stuff.
No.
You want to do that? You want to do that?
No.
That's what you want to do. I know you do.
No, you get too mad.
No, I won't get mad as long as that's the plan. All right.
Alrighty. Bye.
Why German knives so bad and so expensive? I don't know. I don't really know of any German knives really, but breaching the door means you are wedging something in between and breaking the lock. That's breaching. Breaching, like a butter knife, is like picking a lock. You're picking the door handle. I can't think of the name of it, but the part that goes into the handle. So you can do the same thing with a credit card. Breaching a door would be like me shoving my crowbar in the hinge of your deadbolt and breaking the wood around the deadbolt so that I can easily shoulder slam it in. Not saying I've ever done that. I'm trying to finish the first one so I can move to part 2. So story time. This is a story about a time I took a trip down to Florida. Went to Florida. Spent about a month down there in my uncle's condo. Good times, great times. Took a bunch of people with me. My cousins, little cousins, a lot of younger cousins. And it was a great time. Went down there for some real good times. Now, on the way back, I decided to go through North Carolina. Come on and raise up. I decided to go through North Carolina because I wanted to see the mountains. Right? It was like I've already been down here for well over a month, and now I'm running out of money. We're on our way back. Why would I take the fast way back? Right? I'm gonna use this opportunity to do some road trip action through the Appalachian Mountains, right? Well, North Carolina Appalachian people don't like city boys. So let's just say it didn't work out too good. So I'm driving, and remember, I have a bunch of younger, like little cousins and stuff. They're underage. They're in the back. I got a van. The van's packed. right? We're packed. What is it? 3, 4, 5, 5 people with me, 5 or 6 people. And I'm going through a little town that I later found out is a tourist trap. So as I'm going through the town, a cop sees my plates, sees Illinois, and says, "Get that fucker." Right. So pulls me over. I'm not thinking anything's wrong right now. Right now, I'm thinking everything's fine. There's no issue. Right. Um, Pulls me over and says, and because I was kind of concerned because he's like, you know why I pulled you over? And I thought he pulled me over because the kids put blankets up on the windows or something. That's the only thing I could think of. So I was like, that. And he's like, no, you're speeding back there. And I'm thinking, no, I wasn't. Right? I wasn't fucking speeding. And he says, it drops down from 60 to like 30, like that. And it probably did because, like I said, it's a tourist trap. They do this on purpose. Like, there's a little tiny section of like maybe a 1 block area where it just dramatically drops down and goes right back to 60. Right. And maybe I didn't see it. Right. But the point is, pulls me over. Well, then he asks me for my license. Right. I give him my license and he looks at it and tells me, well, he says it's suspended. That's what he says. And I'm like, the fuck it is. Right. And I'm like, no, it's not. And then I found out, like, because I'm arguing with him, and he's like, no, it's suspended, blah blah blah. And then I noticed he was looking at my Wisconsin license, which I had switched states, right? And then he starts telling me, you're not allowed to have that. You're not allowed to have two IDs or whatever. And it's like, dude, I just switched my shit, right? I had just moved back to Illinois from Wisconsin. But anyways, the point is he says he ran. I was like, dude, you got to run my license from Illinois, not from, Wisconsin. I never had a license in Wisconsin. I had a state ID in Wisconsin. Anyways, the point is that he fucking decides to arrest me for the license thing. Well, I later found out I didn't have a suspended license. I had an expired license. So all I had to do was just, change the date. It's just expired, meaning like the date's up. Right, where you got to go get you got to renew your license. You just walk in and they hand you a new one. But he's making it seem like it's suspended, like I did something wrong. And so he arrests me, right, and starts tearing people out of the car, searching them, winds up finding some shit on someone, arrests them, and being a complete dick the whole time. And I'm like, I'm being pretty cool, right? But I'm also thinking in my head, like, this is a slap on the wrist. I'll be in and out in an hour, right? Like, I don't give a shit. Take me to jail, right? Take me to jail. I'm gonna be out in a fucking hour. Because in my state, I can sign my way out. It's just it's a dumb charge. Like, it's not even a crime. It's a traffic violation. So here, you can literally just sign yourself out. There, they don't have that. Also, there, I'm a flight risk. It's because I'm from another state. So there's no such thing as 10%. So now my $100, bail is now like $5,000 or something. Something crazy, right? It really was. Like, it was. I'll tell you how much it wound up costing me to get out here in a second. But and when I'm like getting ready to go into booking or whatever, like the whole time I'm just like, not a big deal. I'm going to be out in fucking 2 hours max, right? Fucking, I don't care. Throw me in. Right. It'd be a cool experience. I've heard this story from you before. Yeah, I said it a long time ago before anybody was in our lives. So he puts me in the back of the car, right? And these cars are fucking junk. They're garbage cars. Like, it's like these, like, you can tell these motherfuckers, like, they fuck their cars up. And like going through the mountains and everything. and it makes all kinds of noise and everything. It's like, this thing should have been, they should have reissued you a new car a long time ago. Well, he goes to go forward, but goes backwards. He don't even know what gear he has it in. So when we're about to go, I think it was, when we're about to go forwards, we're going backwards. So then you're like, you're moving all crazy in the car, and it's like, what is wrong with this dude? So now she's taking me to jail, right? But when we're pulling up to what looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. I'm not lying. Like, it's hilarious because my head, right? I'm in the boonies, right? I'm in North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains. And I'm pulling up to what looks like a big old rundown house. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, all I can think of is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit. Like, something, this is bad. Like, this is bad. I should have never came to North Carolina. What were you thinking? And then I'm thinking, like, the kids, what are they doing to the kids right now? Right? If they're taking me to Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, fucking, what are they doing to the kids? And, but it is a jail, actually. Like, I didn't realize till after I got in the doors, because what could you do, right? You're handcuffed, But then as I got in, it's an actual jail. But on the outside, it's a big old rundown house. Like, it's crazy how that they do this stuff. So it's just, it's a small town, so they don't really need, but this is an actual jail. It's not like it's just a police station. This is their jail. Now, the thing is that I'm in a tourist trap area. So basically, the little town that I'm driving through, you could be from 3 different states right there. Like, it just, like, where it winds up being. So everybody's from out of town. Nobody is from that area, right? Nobody. And they get everybody from out of town because everybody's a flight risk. But the thing is you can be from 5 minutes away and you're a flight risk. So, yeah. Would you call it a jailhouse? Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's a jailhouse for sure. So now, I get in there and, I'm going through the booking, process, fingerprints, mug shots, all that bullshit. And I'm thinking, like, man, like, this is a little crazy for this. Um, one of the cops cuffs me to a plastic chair. I'm thinking it's normal. I'm thinking, like, they must do this to everybody, right? They have to. Why would they be cuffing me to a plastic chair? Next thing I know, and all I'm thinking about is, man, I didn't get to smoke my last cigarette and all this bullshit. So this cop, or this guard, comes by and sees me cuffed to the chair. And he's like, "What'd you do?" And, I said, "Nothing. What do you mean?" And he's like, "Why are you cuffed to a chair?" And I looked at him, I said, "I don't know. I thought this was, normal practices that you get, like, thought this was normal for you guys." He's like, "I've never seen anybody cuffed to a chair." He's like, "It doesn't make sense. You can just pick it up and run off with it." And now I'm thinking, like, they're fucking with me. These guys are fucking with me. So now I'm like, I might as well fuck around, right? Like, I can just walk around because I can pick the chair up, right? So now I'm, like, moving around, and they're getting pissed because, like, I start fucking around. And so then they start threatening me to put me in the I can't think of what the chair's called. There's this chair that all jails have, and they can strap you to it, and they put a gag, like, over your head and everything, and tie you down. I can't think of the name of it. It's called something, but they started threatening to put me in that. And as I'm sitting there, like, I'm not thinking I'm gonna be locked up. I'm literally thinking I'm about to sign myself out. Well, next thing I know, they're telling me, I'm going to lockup. I'm like, going to lockup? What are you talking about? Going to lockup? This is a fucking traffic violation. And then he explains it to me. Like, no. He's like, you're gonna have to, pay what was it? Like $3,500 for me and $2,500 for the other person. Or no, wait, something like that. It was well over $5,000 to get us both out. And it's like, what? Like I couldn't imagine. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're a flight risk. And I was like, yeah, what's 10%? And he's like, there is no 10% when you're a flight risk. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I go into lockup and they put me in a cell with like 20 dudes. And it's only a 10 or 12 man cell. It's a small cell with 20 dudes in there. People are sleeping in the shower. People are sleep like it's so crazy, like packed. It's crazy packed. And they're complaining that like the guards, because the guards are separate from the police. The police are the ones bringing people in, the guards are the ones maintaining the jail. Well, they're pissed. They're like, we can't take any more people. Like, this is a fire hazard. One cop or one guard was threatening to call the fire marshal and shit because like they were just way too packed. And what would happen if there was a fire? What would happen if anything happened? Like, this is way too many people. They're not legally allowed to do that. Like, this is inhumane. Right. And it really was, like, it was so bad. So I'm in there and I'm talking to some of the guys, and these guys have been in there for a minute. And I didn't realize that right away, but then as I'm talking to them, they're telling me how long they've been in there for, and they're telling me for what they've been in there for. Like, some of them are telling me they got caught with like an eighth of weed and they've been in there for like 3 months. And I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, none of it made sense to me. Like, everything that they were saying that they were in there for a long time was something that I expect to get a slap on the wrist for. So now I'm starting to freak out. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I'm never getting out. And they're all telling me, you're not getting out. Like, you will not get out of here. Like, you're going to be sitting in, unless if you're rich. They said, unless if you're rich, you're not getting out of here. And I'm like, shit. And I'm thinking they're right, because they're all been in here for months. All right. And the one dude told me, he's like, I've been to this town 3 times. And every time I drive through this town, he's like, I'll never drive through this town again. He's like, this is the 3rd time I've ever drove through this town. This is the 3rd time I've been locked up. And finding out their little crimes. Now, one dude, and this is where it gets like pretty crazy. He is withdrawing on a severe level. And he's clawed all the skin off of his arms. Like, literally just peeled the skin off his arms from clawing himself. So he's like bleeding like all over. Like, his arms are fucked up. His face, he's been clawing himself to death. And it's like, fuck, man, I'm gonna get a fucking hepatitis sitting in here. Like, that's all you're thinking about is like, I'm getting diseases. Like, people are sleeping around the toilet. Like, it's bad, like really bad. And it's a bar jail. It's not like jails now are all like it's like bulletproof glass and metal doors and stuff. This is old, like Western metal bars, rusty metal bars, you get the file and file your way out type jail. And they so we're sitting in there and I'm talking to everybody because they're like so happy to see me. This is the weird part. They are so happy to see me. Everybody's super cool. Like, so cool because they've been sitting in there for so long that they just want to talk to people. Like, that's all they want. So they're talking to me about where I'm from. Like, some of them, like, they're from the mountains, so they've never seen flatlands. Anybody who doesn't know Illinois is all flat lands. Like, once you get past the cities and stuff, you can see as far as you can see. It's all fields or cornfields, basically. So that's why they call it the flatlands. They call us flatlanders because there's no hills. Like, there's hills, but there's not, right? Not compared to there. There, you can't see 100 feet without seeing a hill, and you can't see over the hill. Once you go over the hill, you can't see any farther because there's another hill, right? Here, when you get on the highways and, out of the city, you can see as far as your human eyes can see. And that just blew them away. Like, that's what they were all like asking me about. And here I'm excited about the mountains because I've never been to the Appalachian Mountains. So I'm excited about that. And here they're excited to hear about flatlands. So we're sitting there talking and shooting the shit about where I'm from and everything else. And anytime you go to jail, there's always what they call jailhouse lawyers, right? They're people that have been through the system a lot. and can tell you what to do, what not to do, who to talk to, how to get out, yada, yada, yada. Well, the one dude, because I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like, I shouldn't be in here. And he's like, you're not getting out of here. He's like, unless if you're rich. And I was like, I'll make it. I'll make something happen. He's like, well, he said, if you can come up with the money, he's like, call Bales bondsman Doobie. His name's Doobie. You know, like Doobie, like smoking a doobie. And I'm thinking he's fucking with me, right? And they won't let me get a phone call yet or nothing like that. But he's like, when you get your phone call, he's like, call your people. And he said, have them get a hold of bail bondsman Doobie, and he'll come and get you out as long as you got the, you know, the chinga. So I made some calls to my family and told them, like, you know, what happened. I got to get the fuck out of here. I need, you know, almost $6 grand basically. And then you got to pay the bails bondsman too. So 2,500 to the bails bondsman, 5 or 6 grand to the jail. It was a lot of fucking money. And so, you know, I had the old man pull some strings, you know, get the money together. And I'm not thinking I'm getting out at this point. And well, you know what was really cool though was that you were allowed to smoke in there. So I was bumming cigarettes from these guys, and then when there was what's it called, medic time, because you know in any jail people have medicine, right, they have to take, but they're allowed narcotics. So the fucking doctor or nurse or whatever, when she comes to the bars with this whole tray of pills. And I didn't know going in. I thought they were trying to get me on something, but they were asking me if I was on Xanax or anything like that, you know, because if you say yes, they'll give it to you. I said no, right? I said no. And when I was in there, all of a sudden I see the nurse come out and everybody hits the bars, right? They're all up against the bars, like, you know, like, give me my shit, right? And they're passing out all kinds of shit. And I'm like, what? Like, if I knew that, like, I wouldn't have lied to her. Anyways, but then finally I'm sitting in there for, I don't know how long, till like the next morning or whatever. My dad calls his people, gets a hold of bails bondsman. The bails bondsman comes and actually gets me out. And everybody in there was like, they were just like amazed because everybody who was in there hasn't left. So everybody who's in there with them has never left. So I'm like the only person who came in and left, and they're just blown away because everybody, it's a poor area. Everybody's poor. So the only time they get to leave is when they go to court and the judge says you can leave. Nobody ever gets bailed out. Right. So I was very blessed. Right. I was very, very blessed in that situation. And then come back home to find out that I have court, right? I have court, drive all the way back down there. And this is like a couple months later, right? 16-hour drive all the way back down there. I drive down there. The court date set up. I hired a lawyer, paid him like $2 grand, you know. I show up. Yeah, bails bondsman Doobie, go to Doobie, right? You guys are probably looking this stuff up. Yeah. Anyways, so then I go back down there, and the lawyer I hired through the bails bondsman that recommended him doesn't show up. I just drove 16 hours, right? 16 hours, and he doesn't show up. Doesn't tell me he's not showing up. The judge let me sit there until like the end, and then it was getting so late. He's like, listen, he's like, I'm sorry, your lawyer didn't show up. He's like, we're gonna reschedule you in 2 months. And it's like, or no, he says, we'll reschedule you and we'll have your lawyer contact you. I'm like, this was a waste of fucking time. I just drove 16 hours. So I go back home, and I'm calling my lawyer every week. Every week I'm calling him. He won't answer, will not answer for the life of him. Never answers me once. A month goes by. Another month goes by. I'm still calling him, like leaving a message after message. Like, what the fuck is going on? Calls me back. Like, I don't know. A couple months later, calls me back and says, you missed court. You missed court and they're putting a warrant out for you. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I started arguing with him. Like, I've been calling you every week for the past 2 months. Why haven't you answered? Why didn't you call me? He says, he lies to me and says, oh, I talked to your dad. My dad's sitting right there. The fuck he did. He didn't call me. And he gets busted out in the lie like really quick and starts saying, well, I don't know who I talked to or whatever. Like, he just makes up some bullshit story. In the end, I wind up finding out, well, because the bail bondsman and the lawyer, if I don't show up to court, because you pay the money, right? And if you show up to court, you get your money back, or percentage of it, all right? But if you don't, they get to keep it because it's like because they bailed you out or whatever. Well, I wound up getting screwed over by the lawyer, the bail bondsman, like together. I think it was like a system. And this is my perception, right? My perception is that I got screwed over by the lawyer and the bail bondsman together with the courthouse. And basically they got all that money out of me. I didn't get a dime of it back, which I would have gotten back. And I was willing to show up to court. I mean, I'd already showed up once. So they wound up getting to keep the money. I wound up getting a warrant, and it wound up after so long, I, I think it's like 7 or 11 years or something. It's been a long time now, but after so many years, a warrant like that just goes away because it's been over 7 years or however long. So it wound up going away. So I don't have the warrant anymore and everything's just gone. But for that long, I couldn't go back to North Carolina, or like 3 states that were like mother states, or what's it called? Sister states. I couldn't go back to them because of this fucking lawyer fucking me over and basically making me lose out on like 10 grand altogether. If you count, especially if you count like my trip, going down there. And yeah, crazy as shit, man. Liar, lawyer, mirror for you. What's the difference? They had to buy the drugs for the jail somehow. Well, it was like like pharmaceuticals, like Xanax, Valiums. I think some of them were on methadone, shit like that, Suboxone, stuff like that. See, we used to do that in Illinois. They stopped doing that like years ago. Now you can get Valiums, but you can't get anything else. Like you can get other things, like antibiotics, stuff like that, light painkillers like Tylenol and stuff, but they used to give out like, for drug addicts and stuff, Suboxones, and if you were part of the methadone program, you can get methadone and stuff like that, but not no more. Now you're fucked. The only thing you could possibly get is like Valium, and you have to be an alcoholic to get that, or at least say you're an alcoholic. Because if you're an alcoholic and you're coming off of alcohol, you can go through a seizure. So they give you Valium to prevent you from going through a seizure. There, they just kept them drugged up. And I was thinking that when I came in, like, man, these guys look fucked up. Then I found out why. They were all fucked up. You had got, and then it started making me wonder, though, why is this guy clawing his shit? But it's probably because they put him on because he wasn't part of the program. He was part of he did dope and shit, and they were giving him Suboxones, and it probably wasn't enough. I don't know. I have no idea why. Maybe he wasn't taking them. I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe he wasn't allowed to take them yet, because a lot of times they make you wait like 24, 48 hours or something. Sometimes even longer. It just depends. But either way, he had clawed his skin off. It was so bad. So bad. And then I had other dudes, because remember, it's all bars. And they have like one big cell with like bunk beds, 3 of them, because it's seated 10 people, basically. Like 10 people could sleep in there, 10 or 12. And it was double beds, and then there was like bars. So you had all these dudes doing fucking pull-ups on the bars, like trying to do anything to burn energy. And you totally respect it and understand it, because it's like we are in very tight quarters. You can't walk, you can't do anything. You can like basically I wound up sleeping or laying next to what was the shower, like right next to it, because that's the only open place there was. Concrete, wet fucking concrete. Here in South Carolina, you get nothing. Seize all you like. That's the way it is here. That's the way it is here. I mean, they'll give you volumes, but you have to lie and say you're an alcoholic. Most people, if you've been through the system before, you already know that routine. Not for us in Cali. They give you barbiturates, paraffin. Wait, peanut. I don't know what that last one is. I know what the barbiturates is. They used to take inmates to the Doan Clinic in my county. Not anymore. In the midst of the worst opiate epidemic ever. Makes total sense. Not. I think it's cruel. I do too. Because I think if you're part of a program, the worst thing to do if somebody's part of a program is to take them off of that program while they're in there, because what happens is they're already part of the program. Their body is used to a dose that they get every single day. Now you take that away when they leave, they're going to get dope. They will not go to the program, and the reason why is because when you're taken out of a program, they take your dose away. So like every day you're not there, they knock you down. So if the person goes to the clinic to get their dose, they're not going to give them what they need. They're going to give them a tick, like basically nothing. Basically, they're nothing. So and that's basically like if anybody coming off the street going there for the first day, they give them the lowest dose they can possibly give them. And it's just by, federal regulations or whatever. So in order to make sure that they're not sick no more, they'll just go get dope. And now you literally just turn the person right back into a dope fiend rather than just letting them do their clinic that they're already a part of. And they used to do that. The program used to be able to go into jails and everything. And now they just took that stuff away. And it's sad. It is sad because it's almost like a system that wants you to be, because if you're in the clinic, I know there's people that go in there and they just go in there and fuck around and, they're doing both. But a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are in there because they're trying to get good. Because we can die from withdrawals off benzos dependency. Yeah. Yeah, yes, you can. Same thing with alcohol, though. You can die from a lot of things. You can definitely die from a lot of things. Like a lot of times, it's from like different things. Like say, if it's like a heroin addiction, a lot of times you die from like dehydration, things like that. There's different things you wind up dying from. If you miss 7 days, you go down to 30 milligrams here. It sucks. Yeah, so the way it goes here is every day you miss, you go down 10 milligrams. That's how it goes here, or something like that. So if you're on, you can do the math. But after 7 days, I think you go back here. I think that's how it goes. I think after 7 days, you go down to 20 or 30 milligrams. It's probably 30 because I thought it was 20, but it might be 30 because like the wafers come in 40 milligram doses, so it'd be half of that, but it's always liquid now. Now I don't think they do in the clinics around here. I don't think they do. They might still do them, but I think they only do liquid now, so it's probably 30. You could just not do drugs. That's true, but what we're talking about is somebody already doing drugs, right? Like that's easy to say. That's like say if you are an alcoholic, right? And then you go into jail and then somebody just says, "Well, you could just not drink." Right? It's like, "Well, yeah, but now I'm already here." Right? They're going to have to give you a volume to make sure you don't go into a seizure. The point is it's life threatening, right? That's the point. The point is the type of withdrawals from some substances, it's inevitable. Like you're gonna go through it. So, and it's dangerous. You go into certain jails and you're going, like, some places and some people will understand, and sometimes they'll put you in places where the person understands because they know like that person's been through it already, so he kind of knows, let's put him in there, because they put you in certain cells and you're withdrawing, they're gonna beat the fuck out of you. They're gonna fuck you up just to get you out of their cell because they don't want to deal with you. which of course they don't. Nobody wants to deal with that. But, and especially like think about being locked up and then you can't hold your bowels, like a lot of things. Like it's messed up. I can die if I don't get at least one knife per week. And you know, that type of withdrawal, what you have to do for that type of withdrawal is you got to make sure you're always on the search for another knife. You don't want to leave yourself hanging. So make sure you always have a knife sight that's to quick access, right? Like just speed access. You get right to it and you can look through the potential to buy, right? And sometimes you put it in the cart, take it back out, put one in the cart. That'll help you get through it. But if you know it starts getting real bad, what you do is you buy one of those quick Amazon purchases, one of the ones that say it'll be here tomorrow. Get one of those, fix you right up. That's what I do. He died of withdrawals in jail. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. I'm not sure who you're talking about because I didn't see the first part, but caffeine and sugar is the most abused drug. Yeah. But it also doesn't. I mean, you're going to get withdrawals from it. Nobody understands, I don't think, like the type of withdrawals you actually get from sugar and caffeine because nobody's actually ever went cold turkey on it. If you actually went cold turkey on sugar and caffeine, you'd be fucked up probably. But you just don't understand it because it's in everything. It's in everything. So like even just regular food, it's in. Finger of dope a day to life-saving high-end knives. Going on 7 years. Good for you, man. Good for you. I got 5 under my going on 6. Actually, it's around 6. I think 30. So I'm 36 now. So getting close to there at least. I don't use sugar, but coffee every morning. Black. I used to go black with my coffee. Now I like cream and sugar in it, but for my whole life I drink it black. Well, with sugar, but still, like I didn't use no cream. I hate sugar and salt. Damn. I cold turkey caffeine once for like 6 months. The first couple days was rough. I bet it was. Richard, thank you for the donation. Bang. 5 bones. Thank you, brother. I do appreciate the donations. What else did we have in here? I think there was something else I wanted to talk about. So I was thinking about doing a tabletop review, or not tabletop review, sorry, a tabletop live here pretty soon. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys want to do a tabletop live here pretty soon? Or do you think we should just do it like this? My parents died from booze. Damn it. My oldest sister will die if she stops doing booze and meth. My other sister is a recovering heroin user. I just want to double, but can't. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I know the feeling. So I'm definitely sorry to hear that. Great stream. Best front flipper. Best front flipper. I think the best front flipper is the Migaron Karaki. This one. This knife is so easy to front flip. And look at this. Stupid smooth. Fall shut action. They did the jimping perfect. You can't beat this type of front flipper. It's so easy. Like I even gave it to a buddy that doesn't know how to front flip. He can't front flip shit, but he can front flip this. Even Kara, she put this in her hand. First time she flipped it, she goes, "Whoa, whoa!" It's so good. That's why it kind of upset me with this one because this front flipper is so good. I was really hoping that this one was going to be as good, but you can see the difference in front flippers. This one, this one's good. This one is not. The jimping, you can see the jimping difference. Come on. This one's like, you can do it. It's okay. It's really smooth. But this one's just, that was me left-handed just now. I hear you, man. Yeah, it sucks, man. Good for anybody that's getting clean, staying clean, and fighting the demons, man. It's definitely worth doing, though. It's save your life, man. There's so much more to life, and getting rid of those demons and dealing with the issues. I was going to, I actually did record a bunch of videos at one time. I was going to start a channel, like basically around healthy habits. And as somebody who has, you know, been through the lifestyle and everything I have, a lot of times people that mentor people have never even been down the path or been through anything. Like they're just doing it, not even from experience. They're doing it based off of their experience of being rich, being whatever, right? Being a go-getter, which I'm not saying don't listen to those people. There's a lot of them you should. A lot of them give great information, but a lot of them can't say from the experience of being in those positions. And but yeah, I was gonna do one for people. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a drug addiction, it could be anything, or just being down on luck, you know. But on, you know, ways to change your mindset and how to develop, you know, good thinking process and good mental health and good physical health and all of that while winning, right? Basically just becoming a winner. And I recorded some videos. I didn't start it. I didn't put them up, but I did record them. Then I watched them and I wasn't that happy with them. So I still am probably going to do that because that is something I would love to do. I was helping people there for a little bit through a rehab center, but I just, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to just go towards people like that, but just people in general, right? And men and, you know, women in general. But I'll probably still do it. I probably won't say anything for a while when I do. And then after I have so many videos up, I'll probably say something. And, you know, because I know it's not for these people, the people from, you know, the knife community, but it's not saying the knife community can't get anything from it. I think you would make a fantastic recovery channel. You should do it if you ever get the opportunity. You do YouTube full time. Yeah, I know that's, and I agree. I honestly agree. I know I would be really good at it. I'm really good with people, so, and I understand human psychology really good, and also from the mind of addiction, and not even, like I said, not even just drug addiction. Just, I've been through a lot of shit, so, you know, I can come from a lot of different perspectives, even from a crime perspective to drug addiction to just, you know, family issues, whatever. Like, there's so many different ways to look at it. But I'm an addict. I've been addicted to many things. I think everybody is. It's just what. That's why I was gonna name it healthy addictions, but everybody's addicted to stuff. The point is your addiction should be a healthy one. Just like anytime you end an addiction, nobody ever stops an addiction. That's bullshit. You replace an addiction. That's how it works. You replace an addiction with another one. The point is you want to replace the addiction that you had with a more healthy one, with a better one. And that is the goal. And that's how you succeed. All right, Jack, take it easy, man. I appreciate you jumping in here. Do something kind for somebody, for sure. Thank you for joining. Socially acceptable addictions. No addiction is healthy. Yeah, I guess you could say socially acceptable. But I kind of agree with that, but also disagree. Okay, so this is my point. If you're addicted to eating healthy, right? You're addicted to healthy foods. You're addicted to exercise. You're addicted to um good content that's healthy for your brain, right? You can be addicted to those things, right? You can be addicted to a healthy lifestyle. And what makes it addictive is that you won't veer off that path. The path that you're on, you're stuck on, and you ain't turning left for nothing. You would not miss a workout. You would not eat that unhealthy shit. You would not go to sleep late. You would not sleep in late, like all those things. And if you get your mind focused like that, that's a healthy addiction. So now I do get what you're saying, though. Most when you say addiction, it means that you're doing things when you probably shouldn't. Right? Like, say, if you're gonna say I'm addicted to knives, right? I'm addicted to knives and I buy knives when I can't pay rent. Right? Yes, of course, that's bad. But that's if you make it a healthy addiction, then you are making the knife thing a hobby, right? A healthy hobby, something you enjoy, something you make a lot of friends from, something you make connections through, and it's not something that enables, because when something's bad is when it affects your family, work, and health. That's when it's bad. And anything can do that. So if it's affecting your work schedule, then it's bad. If it's affecting your family functions and family life and your love for your family and the times you're there for your family, whatever, it's bad. And if it's affecting your health, then obviously we are all creatures of habit, for sure. That's why it's good to get into healthy ones. If you find healthy habits and you replace the bad ones with healthy ones, it's kind of like, say if if you love soda, right? And I'm just shitting things out right now, but if you love Pepsi, but then you change that to loving cold water, right? That's a good thing. And you can do that. It's easy and not at the same time. It's easy because all you have to do is do it. The hard part is you have to get past the cravings. And if you can get past the cravings so many times, then the addiction will turn into that healthy thing. Metallica with the 5 bones. I drink 5 beers a night, man. To drink then Saturday, Sunday, 8 to 10. I got a DUI last year. I drink 5 beers a night, man. To drink then Saturday, Sunday, 8 to 10. Yeah, you want to slow down. If it's, like I said, if it's leading to DUIs and shit like that, you got to slow down. You got to find that happy medium, right? I'm not saying it's bad to drink, but it's definitely not healthy. It's definitely not good for you. There's definitely better things to replace that with. Now, if you can get yourself focused on a goal, right? Because what does alcohol do? Alcohol lowers your testosterone. It obviously, you guys know all the other things, right? Like it's not that high sugar, right? It's bad for your bloodstream. It's obviously not good for your mental health. Now there's going to be some parts of it that's okay, right? That's not necessarily affecting you in a bad way, especially if you only do it every once in a while. But by doing it every night, it dramatically lowers your testosterone. It raises your sugar levels, and it's not good for your brain function. So what you'd want to do is find something you want to strive for. So like I said, exercise and working out or building your testosterone and things like that. So you'd want to replace that with something that does build those things. Um, the food groups that help increase testosterone, and doing that, because then you'll be hitting goals that you don't want to mess up, right? If you have a goal to say put on, and I'm just talking shit, right? Like to put on or lose 5 pounds or something, right? If you have goals for that and you see you gaining, then you're not going to want to ruin it by doing that thing, because you'll know, like, hey man, I lost 5 pounds this week, or I put on 5 pounds, or whatever it is. I don't want ruin it by doing this. And you know, if it is to the point to where you're going through withdrawals and stuff, you gotta do something about that, you know, because you don't want to go through that. I'm fat, I'll survive until you don't. Until you don't. I bought a Ganzo and now I'm fasting for a few hours. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You just get a Ganzo or something like that, because you can get a Ganzo in like 24 hours, right? You know, some of these premium knives, you got to wait like 3 or 4 days, unless if you go through my links. If you use my links, you can get them a little quicker sometimes. You definitely have to want it for sure. Yeah, for sure. You definitely have to want it. But, and you know how you want it? You surround yourself with the things that you want. So like say if I want to work out daily, right? Or every other day. Let's say I want to work out every other day. I should surround myself with workout videos and people that work out. Not meaning like the physical people, but on my screens, like my phone, right? My whole search engine and everything should all be around, you know, building triceps, whatever, like good stretching, good this, good that. Surround yourself with that. Make it to where everywhere you see, it's somebody talking about the bad things that you're doing and the ways you can change it, and healthy lifestyles and working out and exercising. If you surround yourself with that, it's inevitable that you are going to feel like shit about what you're doing, and that you are going to start getting your shit together. You're going to start wanting to be healthy. You're going to realize like, man, I'm losing 5 years of my life or 10 years of my life. Oh man, I would love to be able to look like that. Or man, I'd love to be able to run a mile or whatever, right? But the point is you're surrounding yourself with it, so you're gonna want it more. Same thing like if you surround yourself with, you know, anything, right? You're gonna want it. You're gonna strive for it more. What's up, Yana Sedge? DUIs can save your life. A lot of things can. A lot of things can fuck you up too. That's like my Insta. I follow 95% blacksmiths. Right. Right. You surround yourself with it, and then it makes you want to do it. Same thing with me. My whole surrounding. Like if you guys seen the things that surrounds me, it's all knife stuff and healthy stuff. That's what I do. Like exercise stuff, working out stuff. And then I have like the other things. Like there's a few politic things, right? Things that I try to keep up with. But from people or journalists that I trust, right? And then knife stuff, all knife stuff, basically. And then, like I said, healthy stuff, because I like that stuff. I like having that hitting those goals, and like I said, surrounding myself with it. And you can do it more so than just like on your phone. You know, you can do it with schedules, writing schedules down and having the things in front of you. Like, did you drink 8 glasses of water a day? Right? It's right in front of you, right on your desk. So every time you look up, you're thinking about that water, right? So then you always go towards your water. Things like that. My issues are that my brain fires faster after alcohol enters my body. It's stupid. I have ADHD and stopped taking meds in 2007 when I had Adderall, a prescription. I hated how it made me feel. Yeah, well then if I was you, I would go and see a therapist. Go and see a therapist and have a good discussion with them. Tell them about how this thing's not making you feel good. And to be honest, like I don't want to pull any strings or anything. They might put you on a prescription that makes you feel like shit for a week, and you might find out you don't like that. And you might have to get on something else, right? But those are just the things you're gonna have to do. Like sometimes it's just you just got to understand the cold turkey. This is how it's gonna go. Like, is it possible that you're gonna feel like shit? Possible. It's also possible that you could feel really good. But figuring that out, or even, I mean, I hate to say it, and piss you off or whatever, but it might be just that you just need to get off of the alcohol and, find out what it's like to just be clear minded for a little bit. And and hey, like I said, you might just need a therapist to prescribe you the right medication. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's actually an admirable thing to do. Get on the right medication so that your brain is functioning the correct way and that you're not chemically imbalanced. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting the right medication so that the chemicals in your brain are firing off the right way. Therapy is definitely a good thing. 100%. I don't think enough people actually go to therapy and understand what therapy does. I don't think enough people, like, I used to dog on therapy until I actually went through it. So, the opposite of addiction is connection. Rats who have access to cocaine water will drink it all day until other rats are put in the cage. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, there's lots of weird tests like that. Stupid spell check. Yeah, there is. There's plenty of that. And I get it. Like, cause you know, I have family. I have family that, you know, went through that and they had lots of issues on lots of things they took. Um, like one made them gain a lot of weight, another one just did not work. It made them worse. Right. And that those, like, that's what I mean. There are those risks where it's like you wind up getting on a medication that makes you worse. And that's the fear, right? That's the fear that's driving you to not do it. Right. But sometimes you just gotta pull that trigger, man. Um, it made me into a damn zombie. Yeah, that's what you yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because depending on who you are, like that's how it goes. When you actually have it, it turns you into a zombie. Like with me, if I take it, it gets me zooted. I'm ready to fucking I'll clean the whole house, work on the roof, and do the neighbor's house too. Like that's why, you know. But if you have ADHD, then it does the opposite. It settles you down. So obviously, you actually have it, and that's why it turns you into a zombie. But there's other things. There's other things that work really good. What are we at? We're almost at 10 o'clock. Damn, we've been running these lives pretty late lately, guys. We got to stop doing this. You guys got to start cutting me off at 9:30. All right, guys, we're gonna call it quits in 5 minutes. I was gonna go over these last couple things. Let's go. Let's talk about some knives really quick. So, really quick, let's talk about what is a real tactical knife. What is a real tactical knife? So I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what a real tactical, because we have tactical knife, this, you know, a real tactical knife to me, obviously, the person who coined the phrase tactical knife, Bob Terzola. Bob Terzola, I picture, in my opinion, his knife, his original knife, that is a tactical folder. Now, there's a lot of folders that can do the same thing. But basically, this is what it boils down to for me personally. It has to be able to be good outdoors, meaning like in a folding knife, by the way, not a fixed blade. It has to be good in the woods, good in the jungle, good in urban settings, so also in the city. It has to be good at stabbing, it has to be good at cutting, and it has to be robust enough to take hard use. So thin geometry, tactical knives are not going to do that. It can't be too thick either, though, because it has to still be able to cut. Spear points are the number one tactical knife, in my opinion. Now, can a Tonto be a tactical knife? I say yes, but I don't think that they're the best choice. But this, to me, a SOCOM Elite is a great example of a tactical knife, especially the clip point and not the Tonto. But, or is it a drop point? Whatever comes in. The Tonto still works, but you're not going to have the ability, and you can still do it, but like if you were going to have to skin an animal, right? Out in the jungle or whatever, you couldn't do it you can do it, but it's not going to be the best. The point of a tactical knife is it's good in all situations, right? That's the point of a tactical knife. That's why Bob Terzola's design right here, this is a small version of it, but picture this knife big. That is a tactical knife. We have a spear point blade. neutral ergos, a robust grind, thick tip. I could stab this into something and pry it out because it has a nice robust tip. So this to me, and the original one had a hollow grind. So I'm not saying it can't have good cutting geometry, but it should be a thicker hollow. It's not going to be 10 thousandths behind the edge. It'll probably be 20 thousandths behind the edge to start off and a hollow. This is a flat grind, but this is a great tactical knife if it was bigger. This is a compact tactical knife. Now, the Spartan Hersey, great example of a tactical knife to me. Something that, yes, you can slice with, yes, you can cut with, nice thick geometry. It would be good in urban environments. It'd be good in the jungle. It'd be good skinning a deer. It'd be good at fighting. Because that's the point. It has to be a versatile knife, a knife that can save your life in the jungle, but also do okay in urban settings. Can you fight with it, right? But I would say that this has a little bit more belly than I think a tactical knife should have. I think a tactical knife should, by default, be a spear point, in my opinion. Like I said, a Tonto can be one, but it's not going to be the best. If this had a spear point to it, it would be better, in my opinion. But it does have the pointy Tonto, so this can stab really, really good. It does have the thick, robust geometry. It can pry. It can, do all the hard use stuff. So I think that this, I've always thought of the SOCOM Elite as a tactical knife. So I would say that this is a great example of a tactical knife. However, a spear point would be better. Next one, like I said, the Spartan Hersey folder. Next, I would say the XM18 or XM24. This is a great example. Perfect blade shape. Great robust grind. Great ergos. You could do everything that you need to do with the tactical knife. Man, I need a new edge on this thing. Holy cow, this thing is dull. Would the Medford be a good one? I'm going to say yes and no. Okay. Yes, it totally could, but it's a little big for urban environments. This is a little bit too beastly. The lock bar is so strong, but you can get it open. It's got the perfect blade shape. Great, perfect grind. A thick geometry hollow grind. You can tell I was just cutting with it recently. But, I mean, it's just this in your pocket. Man, this is big in your pocket. I mean, is it much bigger than this? Yeah, it is. It feels like it's twice the weight. But I would say, yeah, it's still good. The Horizon D would be good. Yeah, the Horizon D would be good. That's a great example. But I am going to make an argument, though, really quick. You guys aren't going to like this argument. It has to be USA made. If it's an actual, we're talking about the real deal now, right? The real deal. That's why this really can't be, because technically we made this. Even though Bob Terzola designed it, a real Bob Terzola, what is it called? The compact tactical folder. I think that's what the name of this one is. And then the original one's the ATCF. I forget what the A stands for. No speed holes. No speed holes. Okay, no speed holes. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I would agree with that. No speed holes, because you need it to be as tough as possible. That's why this USA made, nice hollow, robust hollow. You could do some crazy shit with this. You can fight with it. And technically, this is supposed to be paying homage to a K-bar. And you can see that. A little excessive. I get it. But like I said, something like this, USA made. I do wish it was a spear point. That's why, man, I love Bob Terzola's designs. Bob Terzola has some of the most amazing designs ever. The Hinder is probably the closest example I can think of to a perfect one that I have in my collection. Like I said, This is a great example too. It's just the blade shape is better for fighting, better for certain things, and then not good for others. And the point of a tactical knife is it's supposed to be equally as good across the board. Well, I don't know about equal, but it's supposed to be able to do everything. If the Medford can't cut the mustard, it always doubles as a brick. Facts. Now, a tactical knife doesn't have to be a great slicer. A tactical knife has to be work out in the field, right? For hard stuff, fighting, skinning, possibly light duty prying, things like that, and cutting. Now, you don't really care about the light duty, like I said, thick geometry can cut just about anything. It's that it's not something you do long term, but that's for your hard use cutter. That's different. That's separated, right? A hard use cutter is something you bring to work. It's not something you leave the house knowing that you could get into shit like that. It's different, right? That would work better for cutting cardboard all day. A tactical knife would be better at, chopping the limbs you might need to make a bow and arrow or a spear, right? So that you can make a spear in order to catch fish or and then skin the fish and things like that. And as long as you have a sharp edge, right? Like something like this, nice and robust, but this thing gets sharp as shit. This thing takes a nasty sharp edge. It'll cut through. I mean, you can cut cardboard like a champ with something like this, as long as the edge geometry is good. Same thing with this. Now, this isn't going to be as good as a PM2, but with the right edge geometry, you put 15 degrees per side on this thing cuts like a beast. Seriously. Like some of the thick geometry we talk about, you can fix a lot of that with good edge geometry. Thank you, John. All right, yep, I'm about to take off too. I seen a Bark River Bowie knife the other day that was amazing for its size. You could fight, chop, slice anything with that beast. Yeah, I seen one actually. It was an Essie the other day. I almost pulled the trigger. Luckily, it was sold out, so I couldn't. Otherwise, I would have. I have a ninja sword that's tactical. Well, tactical isn't tactical. I got a lot of tactical, but real tactical means it actually works. Tactical versus survival. That's a good one. We're actually going to stay to actually answer that. Survival, one, is better for a fixed blade. That's one clear example of a separation of difference. A tactical knife has to be able to fold. A survival knife should be a fixed blade, but let's take that out of the subject. A survival knife can have more belly than a tactical knife. A tactical knife, in my opinion's tip should never go above the center of the pivot. A survival knife can, though. A survival knife you can have a big belly for, because you're going to want to be able to chop with it, and you're going to want to be able to skin with it. You're going to want to be able to skin, fillet, cut up food, like I said, chop, possibly some batoning, things like that, whittle, make campfires, feather sticking, things like that. And the best survival knife, I don't know, maybe not best. I guess somebody could probably argue against me on this, but a Scandi grind might be the best survival grind, which a Scandi grind might not be the best for a tactical knife. Flipper versus stripper. That's tough. I use my ninja sword for yard work. Does a great job. I bet it does. I use my kukri. Oh, my sister's in here right at the end. I'll argue with you just for the fun. I bet you would. I bet you would. I love you. Tactical versus self-defense. Self-defense, well, a tactical knife has to be good at self-defense, but a self-defense knife doesn't need to have any other. Now, This is a good argument because some people would argue self-defense means defense against everything, not necessarily just people, right? It could be your self-defense to survive in the jungle and eat, right? That's self-defense. You're defending yourself from starving to death. But let's cut out all the other variables and say just for human to human, right? Self-defense on a fighting level. Then the only objective is damage, right? Is stabbing and cutting damage. It should be able to snag, it should be able to pull or like trap, things like that. So I would say Warncliffe, Spear Point, Warncliffe, and Hawkbill is going to be your only three options. Warncliffe, Spear Point, and Hawkbill. With a tactical knife, you never are going to want a Hawkbill. You're never going to want a Warncliffe. It just will not work. The only one that can be universal is the Spear Point. Now, I would argue that the Spear Point on a tactical knife needs to be more robust, while a self-defense knife, you're going to have a more elongated tip, and the tip is going to be more fragile than a tactical knife. That's going to be the big difference, in my opinion. But personally, I would never want that. I mean, it's hard to say, but I don't think personally I would want that type of self-defense dagger. I think I would, and I'm thinking like more like a dagger. I think I would want something that can stab and trap at the same time. And I don't really see a dagger doing that, but it's situational difference, right? It just depends. Pew pew or one of my badass slingshots do not want to get cut. Hey, that's good for distance. Some people would argue that they're just as good with a throwing blade, right? Or anything you can throw. I used to be really good, man. I used to have my throwing target in my backyard, and I had a human. It was wooden, and it was shaped like a human, but I was good, man. I was really good for a while. I haven't done it in years, but I'll be there in 5 minutes, 3.5 hours later. I told you 5 minutes like an hour ago. Just give me 5 more minutes. Right after the cigarette. I literally grew up with everything in life evolving around how long it takes to smoke a cigarette. That was my dad for you. We'll go right after this cigarette. Couldn't agree with this comment. Couldn't agree more with this comment. Anyone seen Brother John lately? Is he okay? Brother John? I don't know. Best weapon on earth, 2 legs. I would say your brains. Best weapon on earth is your brains, because what separates you from animals, right? It's not the physical strength. It's not your speed. It's going to be your brains. You understanding the animal more about itself and how it operates, and what your capabilities are, what it's not, and the ability to make weapons, use weapons, make traps. Yeah, I get what you're saying, though, but I would argue that everything that's life-threatening to you, your legs will not save you. Shark, bear, tiger, mountain lion, Komodo dragon, me, I'll catch you. He's thinking, I just have to beat the person I'm with. That's it. Right after this pack of cigarettes and that pack too. Go to Bennett's and get me another pack. As long as you can think, you are always armed and always dangerous. So long as you can think, you are always armed and always dangerous. I like to think I always am. Yoda says, Jared, some here and after he was done with the paper. So, or same here after he was done with the paper. Yeah. My dad wasn't really much for the paper, but it was definitely the cigarette for sure. Always the cigarette. Everything. There wasn't nothing that didn't happen. Nothing happened until after the cigarette, for sure. The shitty thing was when he was about done with the cigarette and you looked away, right? And it's burnt down. It's about that big. And next thing you know, you look over and there's a brand new one in his mouth. Brand new one. I'm old enough to remember when I sat in the middle of the bench seat with no seatbelt. Me too. I didn't even have a child safety seat. All while my dad was smoking a Pall Mall no filter. Nobody judged. Yeah, me too. I remember not having a car seat, sat on the lap, or standing on the seat, right? An old pickup truck stick shift, fucking bouncing around. No seatbelt. You didn't have to wear a seatbelt. Nobody wore a seatbelt, actually. Nobody. And hell, half the time I was probably hitting the cigarette right along with them. I remember my dad used to tell me, hey, boy, take the cigarette and go light it on the stove. And I'd walk over there, turn on the stove, tick, 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 tick. It'd turn on and he'd be like, and make sure you puff on it. That was my dad for you. Make sure you puff on it. I don't want you coming back. I'm going to have to send you back over there to light it again. Make sure you puff on it. We had no car seats in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. I asked my mom one time, like, why don't I remember a car seat? She's like, because you never had one. And it's like, well, why not? They weren't required back then. Most people didn't have car seats. Car seats didn't become a thing till like the late 80s, early 90s. I moved to 100s because I'm a true friend. That's what's up. No, my dad was always Marlboro Reds. Marlboro Reds. Aha, the McDonald's ashtray. Somebody's been there. Oh, fuck. Facts. I never thought about wearing any protective gear to ride our bicycle either. No, me neither. I never thought about any of that. Not once. I never wore a helmet. When we rode dirt bikes and four-wheelers and stuff, my aunt, Breeze's mom, she used to make us wear jeans. That was one thing. And then we had to wear a helmet when we were on certain certain motorcycles and four-wheelers and stuff. But we would not when we didn't have to, like when we weren't being threatened for our lives and shit by our aunt, 'cause she'd slap the shit out of you. But I understand it now, as an adult, why. And I remember wearing shorts one time and I burnt I burnt the shit out of my leg off the tailpipe. So bad. And I realized why she always made me wear jeans. Not even just because of the tailpipe, but when you crash, you're going to skin yourself. And I got into so many dirt bike accidents and motorcycle accidents and four-wheeler accidents. Same with Breeze. Like, we're lucky to be alive. Yes, you had a car seat because that was the time when you were required to have them. It was in the early to mid 90s. It was a requirement that every child under the age of 4 at the time had to have a car seat. So yes, you had one. And I remember it very clear. I remember like it was yesterday, but yes, you had one. But there was lots of times where you rode around and you weren't in one. Especially like if we were in the pickup truck. Just because it was easier, because you didn't really hear people getting in trouble for it. People started to at that time. That's when people started to get in trouble, and you were fined like heavily if your kid wasn't in a car seat, and they were actually doing it. So it was like there were like certain times in certain years when things changed, and they basically, like, if they seen it while they were driving by, that you were an automatic pullover, right, and you were getting a bad ticket. So people didn't want that because people were usually worried about other things. So since people were worried about other things, they didn't want the threat of being pulled over, like getting their kid taken from them for whatever reason, right? Like you can think of a lot of reasons why the officer would find something else and want to take your kid away from you or whatever. So that it wound up becoming a thing, kind of like cell phones, right? For a long time, you were allowed to talk on cell phones, right? But then all of a sudden they made it illegal for you to, text and drive or be on the cell phone. So then all of a sudden they were pulling over everybody. Same thing with seatbelts. At one time you were allowed to wear no seatbelt. Then all of a sudden you had to wear a seatbelt. But in the back, as long as you were over 18 and the person driving was over 18, you didn't have to have a seatbelt on in the back seat. I think that's the way it still is, though. I'm not positive about that one now, but that's the way it was. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. Did I say that right? I think I did. Shout out to the Bang Gang Squad. Maybe possibly tomorrow. I got a lot of knives to sharpen. So I might possibly throw on the camera and do a live just for the Bang Gang Squad. It'll only be a test run though, so it won't be like a long one or anything like that. If I do one, otherwise it'll be next Sunday when we do it, but I might possibly just do it tomorrow. Shout out to everybody who did donate. Shout out to the patron members. Shout out to everybody who supports this channel and the content. I can't thank you guys enough. I really do think we're going to big places with this channel, and I love every minute of it, and I love everything we do. I love all you guys and everything you guys do for the channel and for me personally on a personal level. I consider a lot of you great friends, and I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you to everybody for joining, commenting, and hanging out with me tonight. Wednesday, I'm hoping to have transparent knives in here. That will be a great show. We're going to talk a lot of geometry talk, a lot of blade steel talk, heat treat talk, lots of stuff like that. You guys will not want to miss that. And it's a great opportunity for you and us to get the knife we want, right? Where you can make it yourself. Kind of like I was saying, wouldn't it be great to decide the blade shape you want, the grind you want, the heat treat you want, the steel you want on any given knife? Well, show up on Wednesday. We're going to talk about it. I love you guys. Peace.